Is it weird to get hyped from your own song? Like, I love that song that plays at the start of all these videos. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, which means we are back to our normal scheduled programming, and we can finally get reconnected as we have planned on doing for the last year. It was so odd missing last week. That was the first time that I've missed a reconnected since, oh God, I think it was August of last year. I even did it I had COVID earlier this year. I did it shortly after having surgery last year. It sucked missing it. I'm just glad to be back here with everybody. And tonight is going to be freaking huge. Like, we have partner label stuff to go over. We've got Severin stuff to go over. We've got tons of Kino titles. We've got MVD Rewind titles. We've got Eureka titles. We've got sale talk for tonight. We've got everything. As a reminder, please give a like on the stream. It will boost it so more people that are into physical media can see this. This is currently streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. So if you're there, please say hello. Comments are how we keep this going. This is the community. All of you guys participating is what makes this fun and amazing. And let's get into it. It's going to be a long night. For some reason, I feel like we are going to be here reconnected until the Severin sale goes live. So I'm here for it. I'm here to participate. It's going to be a good night. Let's see who all is here. We got Jeff here. What's going on? Alyssa, glad you're here. Eric, my friend. Anthony, glad you're here. Didn't sleep through this one, huh? Paul, what's going on? Hey, Terry. Mitchell. What's going on, Sardis? Glad you enjoyed the video. It was a good one. And if you have not watched the video I posted earlier today, it was an interview with Andrew Furtado from Severin, and I think it was a pretty good one. I genuinely I think that might have been my most entertaining interview so far. Andrew's got a very unique personality, and I've known Andrew for a long time online, so it was nice to be able to actually talk for now. So yeah, Maximus Severnite seems like Vincent. Yeah, they did just destroy it. We got to get on this new one. What's going on, Jay Weems? John Peters. Good luck tonight. I know you can't shop until like 3 a.m. Hopefully what you want is still there. Eric, anybody get the Severin email for new accounts? I don't think anybody has yet, even though what they posted earlier says we probably should have got it by now. That sale goes live in just 2.5 hours. We will keep an eye on it. Hilton says, going to pick up a whole lot of Franco tonight. And I love that you got the Odorama card there in your little profile picture there, man. That's awesome. I happen to have mine right next to me still, so I can copy you. Does that work? Love that. Ooh, I think I got a smell of the flowers at the end there. Thanks, Jeff. Glad you liked it. John Peters thought it was good. Dave, what's going on? Thanks, man. You know, John, you saw how big I was in person compared to you. If we need to fight, we can fight. Antoine, watching Mr. Pin and Chaos. Yeah, it's a busy night. There's going to be a lot of people streaming tonight, I'm sure. I'm not a loyalist necessarily, so stream whoever you want to stream, and we'll get it done. Sardis says, waiting on the box set, spent way too much with VS. Yes, and there is a box set sale that's happening this weekend at Severin specifically for 24 hours. So it's gonna be interesting. Maximus, what will be more entertaining, shopping or watching people be ridiculous if the store goes down? Well, if they actually made the trip over to Shopify, which it seems like they did, I'm really hoping tonight that they can surprise everybody and just stay up for once. It would be a very nice surprise to see it not go down during a sale, although it might feel a little odd. It has been... I was trying to think about this earlier because I knew that we were going to talk about this tonight, but I feel like it's been, man, maybe 4.5 years or so since the last time a Severin sale where the site did not go down, which is a lot. It is a lot. So we'll see about tonight. Hoping that it's at least, we'll say, if it does go down, give us at least 30 minutes before it goes down. That'll make it decent. Questions tonight. If anything comes up while we're going through all the announcements, please make sure that you comment. I'm not usually even now, I'm not really like begging for money, but because of the way that I look back and forth between the announcements and the comments, it helps if you do super chat sometimes if you want something seen and spoken on kind of quickly. I'm going to be looking at the announcements on the other screen and I can't see the comments. So yeah, that is up there. That's an option. I will also throw out Patreon is still open down below in the description. We've grown a lot in our Discord. We have a lot of people participating in our Discord now, and it is pretty freaking awesome. We have some really great conversations. Just today, we started talking about audio systems. We haven't talked about that in a while. We just started up our own buy-sell trade thread in the Discord, seeing how that is going to grow from there, and it's been great. So if you're all interested in signing up, you got about 11 days to get in before this month's giveaway, so make sure you get in on that soon. What's going on, Byfur? Let's start sharing some of these announcements because we got so many to get through. I am sort of worried about getting through them before the sale because there are so damn many, especially when there is like multiple sales to talk about. I don't think we've talked about the Synapse sale, so we're going to get into that tonight too. Maximus is unhappy that I don't love John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson. That's all right. I like some people. I'm sorry. I'm just not a Clint Eastwood person. I can't get into it. I can't. And a lot of people are going to trash that opinion, and I get that, and I'm used to that. Let's get into these. All right, coming on August 16th from Kino, this is Kill a Dragon from 1967 with Jack Palance. I don't think we had this one announced previously. So this one says, Soldier of Fortune Jack Palance squares off against warlord Fernando Lamas in the explosive action-adventure Kill a Dragon. When a dangerous load of nitroglycerin lands on a beach near Hong Kong, the islanders claim it as their own. But the powerful Nico Petrai threatens to destroy the island and its inhabitants if the cargo is not given to him in 3 days. This is an interesting one. I actually kind of really want to check this one out. So during a sale, I'm probably going to be putting this at least in the wish list and keeping an eye on it. Let's see. Next up, we got Blood Hunt. This is one of the Severance sale titles, and from what I hear, this may be the one to watch during this sale. It sounds very interesting, and it looks pretty decent. They've got a trailer up on their YouTube now. I highly suggest checking out those trailers. They also dropped their podcast episode today. So a lot of their stuff, it is not going to sell out tonight. In fact, I'm going to say nothing will sell out tonight except for maybe the most limited bundles. But it seems like lately not a lot of people have been going for their giant bundles just because they're so expensive. But if you're not and you're trying to be picky on titles, give the trailers a watch and give that podcast a listen. And maybe watch the video with Andrew from earlier today. After all those things, you can probably whittle it down to a few titles that you're looking for and make some good decisions. But let's get into Blood Hunt. This one is from 1985. And it says, in 1985, director Javier Elorrieta fused the brutal realism of the kinky genre with American-style rural revenge to create one of Spain's most significant shockers of the decade. When a troubled city doctor, played by singer-songwriter Paxi Andion, relocates to a remote village, he will discover that a horrific tragedy in the town's past is commemorated by hunting teen addicts as human prey. Let's see, they're talking about who's in it, and then this is going to be a new 2K scan from the OCN for the first time ever in America. Really, really interesting and decent looking title. And then Next up, we get They Went That Away and That Away with Tim Conway coming from Kino Lorber. This is from 1978. Tim Conway is hilarious. A lot of people that were, 80s and 90s kids, they had their parents showing them Tim Conway as some of their original comedies. And I, for one, certainly grew up on some of Tim Conway's films. And this one is already on my wish list, and I'm definitely going to be getting this one eventually. Tim Conway is just ridiculously funny. This is going to have a trailer, 2 TV spots, nothing crazy. But this has, let's see, Tim Conway and pals break out the laughs as 2 dipstick deputies who go undercover in a maximum security prison. But when the only man who knows their true identities croaks, these jailbirds hatch a zany plot to fly the coop and discover that sometimes even justice needs a little correction. Bursting with boisterous sight gags, which Tim Conway always did, slapstick buffoonery, and a wild finale, this madcap caper is so comical, it's criminal. And lots of big names from back then in it. And yeah, can't wait to take a look at this one. I don't know that I've seen this one. Not sure if it's one at 1967. Seems a little older than what I got shown from Tim Conway when I was younger. But yeah, got to check this one out eventually. All right, and then I think this is the last one before we get into the partner label titles. But this is coming in October 11th from Unearthed Films. We are getting No Escape, starring the recently deceased Ray Liotta and Ernie Hudson. The year is 2022. Very timely release. John Robbins, played by Ray Liotta, a former Marine captain, has been sentenced for assassinating his commanding officer and is banished to a secret and remote prison island run by the Warden. In this prison of the future, inhabited by society's most violent and feared criminals, Robbins is left to the mercy of the elements and his fellow man. He finds the island divided into 2 camps, the outsiders led by the brutal and bloodthirsty Merrick, and the insiders led by the strong-willed, benevolent father, played by Lance Henriksen, and his followers Hankins, Ernie Hudson, and Casey, Kevin Dillon. Robbins doesn't care to join either. His one aim is to break free of an island from which there is no escape. To aid him, he steals a powerful and destructive weapon from the outsiders, sparking off a major war between the 2 encampments. Now, bloody battle and the brutality of hand-to-hand combat will take many lives before Robbins can think of freedom again. Trapped on an island where nature can be as deadly as man, there's only one thought which can keep Robbins alive: escape, escape, escape. This is a big title for Unearthed Films, and I think that this is a really great time to announce this, especially right after Ray's passing. I really hope this does well for them, and a lot of people love this film. Just love this film. And thankfully, it's getting some decent extras. We got Welcome to the Future, the sci-fi worlds of Gale Anne Hurd, a new interview with Gale Anne Hurd. Survival of the Fittest, directing No Escape, a new interview with filmmaker Martin Campbell. And then Penal Colony, writing No Escape, a new interview with co-writer Joel Gross. There's also an alternate intro, and then all the same that is pretty much on every release. You got your trailer, TV spots, still gallery, and then we got some vintage making of featurettes. So yeah, this is one I actually genuinely suggest people take a look at. Unearthed Films have been doing really good work, and Steven, who runs our Unearthed Films, is really nice in person. I always suggest supporting him. He is just great. Met him in Texas in 2019. All right, here we go. There are 13 partner label releases, and we are going to dive into all of them now. By the way, these have been out obviously for a week, so a lot of people have already looked into these. Keep in mind, this is still partner label only month over at Vinegar Syndrome, so these are the exact type of titles that you can look for right now. The rest of the site is shut down. Keep in mind, not sure if everybody knows this, but the Vinegar Syndrome merch is going to get turned back on tomorrow. The releases will not, but the merch will be. So you should be able to get some other things if you're looking to make another big order at Vinegar Syndrome, whether you did something for their sale or not. It is going to be a really, really expensive weekend for a lot of people in this hobby. That's for sure. We got multiple sales. We got partner label only month with Vinegar Syndrome merch on the way, and more and more titles constantly. All right, first up, we got Air Doll coming from Decanalog, and this is the back of the slip. Not a great back of the slip, but I actually I'm really looking forward to this one. It sounds interesting. A present-day fable for the increasing disconnect we find in urban life. Hirokazu Koreeda's Air Doll transports the Galatea myth to present-day Tokyo. A life-size air doll lives in a shabby apartment in Tokyo. She cannot speak, nor can she move, but she is the only companion her middle-aged master has. He talks to her, puts her in a bath, and makes love with her every day after he returns home from work. This routine life is disrupted when fantasy turns into reality. The air doll suddenly comes to life, filled with a soul. Like a newborn baby, she doesn't understand what is going on around her, but she sees a world waiting to be explored outside the apartment. Eventually venturing to the outside world, the air doll is fascinated by everything she sees, and though she meets many people in all walks of life, they can't seem to provide her an answer to what being alive actually means. When the air doll wanders into a video store, her world is forever changed. And I'm going to stop there on the synopsis. This looks great. If you get a chance, I highly suggest watching the trailer for this one. It is one that it looks fascinating. This is going to be a Region A locked Blu-ray Q&A with the filmmaker and actors from the film. They got that from the 62nd annual Cannes Festival. There's a behind-the-scenes trailer and of course English subs. Good-looking release. Decanalog does some great work. They are ran by Elijah Drenner, who has been a part of this hobby for quite some time. Next up, this slip is already gone, but we also got the release of Apocalypse After from Altered Innocence. Keep in mind, this was also released previously, and I believe is still currently available in the limited edition release from Mondo Macabro. This is a group of short films by Bertrand Mandico, and it is something that sold out very quickly because this was only 500 slips. The slip thing. So obviously, there are some slips like this, and we're going to talk about the Franco title that sold out very quickly last week. This one, I think, went like in the first 90 minutes, and the Franco title went in just under 2 hours. That is wild for partner label titles. I don't really understand it. This is a tough conversation to have because a lot of people are complaining about things like scalpers, but I don't really think that this is all scalpers. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome has limits on these titles. I think that they are just getting to be that popular, and I think they're I believe their partner labels are finally getting to be like really super popular, kind of like Vinegar Syndrome has. And yes, something like the Franco title probably should have been said a little. Not should have been said, probably should have been limited to a little more, but also it's being put out by Pulse Video, and they very well may have only been limited to 1,000 releases in the US. So that one I understand. And then this was in a partnership with Mondo Macabro, so they probably were only able to do 500 limited, and then the rest are going to be standard. So I sort of get it. And the other one, it probably is literally just the power of Franco. I mean, people want just Franco titles, and Severin understands that. I mean, they're putting out, I believe, 3 Franco titles tonight, if I'm remembering right. I think it's just 3. And then on their podcast today, if you have not listened to the Severin podcast, slight spoiler here, they announced, and actually, Andrew went into it possibly in our interview for a split second, that David Gregory went to Cannes and bought a whole bunch of titles, and about 50% of them were Franco titles. And they, in the podcast, allude to the fact that we might be getting 15 or more Franco titles from Severin in the coming, as soon as they get done with it. But yeah, they are They are hitting hard on the Franco. Let me take a look at the comments for a minute. Let's see. Talking about a Blue Underground sale at that's coming up at Grindhouse Video, I believe. I think that is on. Let's see. Everybody's saying the 13th. Yeah, Mitchell says it's the 13th to the 26th. Yeah, it starts in just a few days. I've not posted about that yet because I want Severn to get their attention, and then we'll go to Blue Underground at Grindhouse. Yes, John, it is because of Franco. Sardis picked up 9 of the pre-orders. Still have 5 more. Dang, nice. Very nice. Mitchell says, I don't feel bad getting them onto Macabro. No, and it's that one is a great release as well. It's all the same content. It's just from a different company. Something about 500 brings everyone out of the woodwork. If I remember, the first Utopia title also had the same amount of slips and didn't last the first day. That first one, what was it? It was Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets. It didn't go even remotely close to as quick as this, though. That one was still when partner labels were very young. So this one, it just went like real quick. The Bloody Nose, I believe, lasted at least a few hours. Lissa says, I know a lot more people who shop boutique labels now, some because of the lockdown. Exactly. And every single label that I've talked to about these sales and everything ramping up have said that once COVID came, they all noticed an across the board increase in their sales. And I do think that is because people are getting tired of streaming and seeing the exact same titles, and now they want something that they can hold on to. And yeah, that helps a lot when you can get something with such variety. Yeah. By4 said, I laughed so hard when Ryan and Flip made a wager when the Severn site will be overwhelmed tonight. Knowing now that they changed sites, I don't think it's going to be. I'm going to be very optimistic and say it's not going to go down tonight. I think it's going to be good. Yes, John says, don't forget if you got that $10 partner label code, it is in your email, and don't forget to spend it. And if you're already a sub, you may just want to get the Vinegar Syndrome merch. That's why they're turning it back on, because if you're a sub, you already get your 50% off on these titles. So there's no and you can't stack coupons. So there's no reason to only get like $2 off more on a partner label title when you can also get $10 off of something else. So make sure that you're making the most of your money, get stuff that you want, and don't overspend. That's the most important thing here. Next up is Final Flesh. This is, first off, a wild-looking slip. I love the way this thing looks. This is the front of it, and then the back, such a different feeling. It says, after watching this film, I started drinking mouthwash on the rocks. This is a quote by Harmony Korine, and this is Final Flesh from 2009. Final Flesh is unlike anything you've ever seen on Earth or other places. In the early 2000s, Vernon Chapman, who is co-founder of the PFFR Art Collective, co-creator of Wonder Chosen and Xavier Renegade Angel, and producer of South Park, wrote a 4-part screenplay about a family who lives adjacent to the ground zero of a thermonuclear disaster. It sounds fairly basic so far. However, instead of sharing the finished script with Hollywood, Chapman sent each part to 4 different companies that specialize in custom adult fetish videos. And Final Flesh was born. Like the custom song poem craze of the 1970s, this metaphysical brain stabber is an outsider miracle of biblical proportions. Filled with nudity, brilliant sight gags, rubber monster masks, inventive toilet humor, and no sex, this is a surrealist spectacle of the highest order. I mean, that sounds beyond unique. This is region-free, preserved from the original digital video master. There's an introduction by On Cinema's Greg Turkington, music video by Bonnie Prince Billy, directed by Vernon Chapman and John Lee, new alternate score by Ben Chesney of Six Organs of Admittance and Comets on Fire. There's a commercial, outtakes, and this is done in like a partnership between AGFA and Drag City, and I can't wait to see this. Anybody excited about Final Flesh? What's going on, Ken? Glad you're here tonight. Mitchell says, I want to get the equivalent of the Marauders bundle from last year. I got the book. I think it may be a damaged one. Most of the pages were stuck on the upper corner. Interesting. Final Flesh was made, I think it says 2009, or at least that's when it was released. It might have been made in the 2 years prior to then, but yeah, 2009. And then Sardis says, I wish I discovered boutique labels earlier. They widen my horizon. And what's crazy is boutique labels were not so boutique like 20 years ago. It was just the DVD craze, and then that all went away. So yeah, they are huge right now. But they are still nowhere near like Anchor Bay mode from 2003. This next one, man, this sounds great and has a really nice art style on the slip. Forbidden Love, the unashamed stories of lesbian lives. This is the front, and then the back also looks great. Says, Laura couldn't quite remember how she got back to Mitch's apartment. She'd stayed for one more drink at the bar, and she never wanted the night to end. So this is coming from Canadian International Pictures, and this is from 1992. This one, it reminds me of some of the old like novel covers that were out years ago, and I cannot wait to see this. This says, in the 1950s, a wave of lesbian pulp literature emerged, exploring a then taboo subject in vivid, sensationalistic detail. While these writers often took a critical, moralistic view of gay life, they provided a jumping-off point for women still discovering their suppressed sexual desires. But with society unwilling to grant them a place in public life, they channeled their passion for these novels into a vibrant underground culture full of distinctive codes, roles, and rituals. Mirroring the shadowy traditions of noir fiction, they also faced violent opposition from police and other protectors of the status quo, resulting in a dangerous but ultimately liberating path to sexual awakening. I can't wait to see this. I mean, the number of queer people in my life, I think that I want to see them watch this. I am just excited to share. Let's see. The features on this one. This is region-free, scanned in 2K from a 16mm interpositive. Audio commentary featuring directors Lynn Fernie and Erlen Weissman, moderated by Professor Jean Bruce. Audio commentary featuring 6 members of the crew, the Anne Bannon Chronicles. From 2022, 18 minutes long, a new interview with Anne Bannon, who is called the Queen of Lesbian Pulp. Cinema Politica Q&A with the cast and crew for, that's 23 minutes long from 2015. EPK interview with the directors from 92. Afterward from 2022, and then a booklet featuring reflections from subject Amanda White, along with essays by Jean Bruce, Matthew Hayes, and B. Ruby Rich and Rebecca Sullivan. There is a lot in here, and this is one that just sounds like a really well put together package. And if you have not been paying attention to Canadian International Pictures, which last month they did that Buster Keaton title, it is time. They are putting so much care into all of these that I really, really hope they get a lot more attention. And I see them getting big pretty quickly with the titles they are choosing. So Canadian International Pictures, if you have not considered them, consider them during this Partner Only's month. Partners Only month. From Culture Shock, we are getting Night Ripper from 1986. This is a very interesting looking slip on here. This completely reminds me of some of those other ones, like a TerrorVision title or really like an AGFA title. But yeah, this is Night Ripper from 86. And it says, Fiend disembowels fourth young woman, reports the newspaper. The Ripper is stalking the city, and it's all anyone can talk about. Models all over town are ending up on the wrong side of her razor-sharp blade. And yeah, it seems pretty cliche on that front, but it's a Culture Shock film. And Culture Shock. So I wanted to shine a little light on them tonight because I knew that we were going to talk about them. Culture Shock has made some waves since they became a partner label. Their first title was Girlfriend from Hell, and they have released a title every single month since they became a partner. And that is going to be happening for at least 2 more months, I believe. Not sure if they're going to stop then, but I know that they have stuff at least scheduled through then. And they're so great. However, keep in mind, they did put out stuff before they were a partner label. And if you go back and watch some of their older stuff, I think you might appreciate those as well. They have definitely held on to that same sort of culture, since that was not meant to be a pun of their name, but that same sort of feeling that they've embraced as a partner label. They had that before they were a partner label, and it is all really great stuff. They have stuff available in the Vinegar Syndrome store currently that was released before they were a partner, but also they have their own site. And if you go to their site, they've got some of their like limited bundles that were exclusive before this came out, and it's great. One thing I will say is that this stars James Hansen, April Adia, and Larry Thomas. You may not recognize those titles, but this movie stars the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld, and I cannot wait to see this. It looks great. This is going to be region-free. Interview with the director, interview with actor Larry Thomas and April Adia. Full-length commentary by Movie Melt, Grindhouse, and Exploitation Podcast. Extended gore shots, behind-the-scenes gallery, and then they have their trailers run on there. Culture Shock is great. By all means, please support them. They've been doing incredible stuff the entire time. Incredible stuff. And then also the stuff before they were a partner label. I think most people watching on this channel would probably appreciate that older stuff. Next up, we finally have our second title coming from Subculture, the German partner label, and this is Out of Order from 1984, and thankfully, once again, it is in 4K. Now, they are the ones that put out, that great-looking spaghetti western last June, and it's been a full year since it was released, and now we are finally getting our second title from them. Only the second one. This is Out of Order. And this is from 1984, like I said. And it says, on a Friday evening, 4 people board the elevator in an office building. After it gets stuck, they soon realize that their cries for help go unheeded. Desperate, they decide to free themselves on their own and climb out through a hatch. When their lives are in great danger, a fight breaks out and the situation escalates completely. With every additional minute in this claustrophobic narrowness, the veil of superficiality lifts and reveals a glimpse into the human abyss that is much deeper than the elevator shaft beneath their feet. I mean, so we have a few movies that have been released like this previously. Me looking back, I think 1984 was before most of the bigger ones that came out similar to this, like Devil, and there's a couple others, but this looks to be like maybe the first one. So I'm definitely interested in watching this. This is obviously, since it's 4K, it's going to be region free. They've got an interview with some of the actors, interview with the DP. There's an alternate version with standard definition inserts, an isolated music track, English opening and end credits, even though they're silent, and then opening and end credits that are textless, and then a German theatrical trailer, gallery, English subs. Pretty standard release, but I'm just glad we finally get something else from Subculture. Also really glad that it's in 4K. They did really great work with the first title that they did, which was Deadlock. And yeah, I can't wait to get this one in. Can I show the back of that slip? Here's the backside. And let me take a look at some comments here. Sarda says they didn't like the lifestyle, but had no problem with their money for those books. That is the truth. That seems to always be the case. As long as they can profit, they'll keep doing it. Dead Sea Life. I was literally just watching your Andrew Furtado interview, so I missed the beginning of the live. That's all right. At least it'll be there forever, so you can watch it again afterwards. But I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here now. It's going to be a long night. I said that earlier. You probably missed that part. But yeah, there are so many announcements. I think we may be here until the Severance sale goes live. Dave says, the last few years I've discovered giallo films, spaghetti westerns, and Yakuza films and loved every minute of the journey. That's awesome. And boutiques have focused on each and every one of those. That's great. Let's see. John says, that's it. No physical media for you. Come back 1 month. Oh, man. I think that's the first actual Soup Nazi joke I've heard about the movie. That's great. Is Deadlock ever going to be available again? It is available straight from Subculture. I believe it still is. It is not going to be available through the Vinegar Syndrome site. It was a strictly limited title that was never going to get a standard release. Thankfully, Out of Order is not a strictly limited and will get a standard release. Let's see. Mitchell and Jeff they seem to be asking about Deadlock. If either one of you are interested in the Subculture release of Deadlock, send me a message. I think I might have a beat on one. If you just want to see the movie or want the 4K, I believe it's the same disc. It's just the Subculture release. So I think it's a white case and not the yellow slip. Dead Sea Life is asking, what director's box sets do you think Andrew was talking about for future 7 releases? Ed Wood? Oh, that would be a good one. For some reason, I doubt that they would be able to get Ed Wood. One thing that I think they're going to do is once they saw the success of the Folk Horror box set, I think we're going to get some big either genre or like region box sets like that. And if you listen to the podcast, I know that I'm just pimping it out at this point, but it looks like they might be working on a big Spanish film documentary. So they might be working on some Spanish films to put out with that, which some of the Spanish films that we have from some of these boutiques like Vinegar Syndrome and some others, they are really great, like really well made. And I would genuinely appreciate seeing that for sure. If we were to get some director's box sets, it's tough at this point because if we're just talking about like the regional directors and the auteurs that are like Ray Dennis Steckler level and below, because Steckler's a little higher than some of those other ones probably. I don't know. I don't know that they could get Ed Wood again. I think that's a pretty big name, but we'll see. I think that again the All the Haunts BR's box set is going to be dictating a big move for them because it was so damn impressive. But I agree with John. None until the Black Emanuel set is released. Please get that out. Please. We need that already. All right, let's get back to this. We got the next one. This is coming in June from Utopia Movies. This is Polystyrene, and I'm Polystyrene, I Am a Cliche from 2021. Here is the back of the slip. Utopia. I don't know if it's just me. I don't have the site up, but I feel like they have not put anything out in like a couple months. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, so they last put out El Planeta, and I think that was, I say a couple months, but it was literally like April or March. Not that long ago, but man, they were on a roll for a long time. So I'm looking forward to more Utopia. I think they are one of the stronger partner labels, so I'm looking forward to this for sure. Polystyrene was the first woman of color in the UK to front a successful rock band and a key influence on the Riot Girl and Afropunk movements. But Polly didn't just leave behind a cultural footprint. She was survived by a daughter, Celeste, who became the steward of her mother's legacy, and demons, which plagued Polly's life and scarred the pair's relationship. With narration by Ruth Nega, this film follows Celeste's journey to better understand Polly as an icon and a mother. This is, to me, like the exact type of release I want to see from Utopia. They kill it with documentaries. They kill it with stories that really dig deep and dive into some subculture that I know either nothing about or like barely touch the surface on my information. And I love music. A lot of you from watching this know that I have been watching, that I've been in the music scene, and that's where I first came from. So I appreciate lots of things like this. So this one is from 2021. It is Region A. Got a Q&A from South by Southwest 2021. Commentary in certain scenes with the directors, and a booklet featuring an essay by Dana Reynous and intros by Paul Sang and Celeste Bell. This is, to me, a must own, and I haven't even seen it yet. Must own. But This is one that a lot of people are leaning towards this month, and I know nothing about this one. This is from Dark Star Pictures, and it's from 2021 as well. This is Potato Dreams of America. This is the front of the slip, and here is the back. Loving the color scheme on this. Looks great. An autobiographical comedy about a boy growing up in the collapsing USSR, his mail order bride mother, and their escape to Seattle in the 90s. This film is an immigrant's take on the American dream, proving that life is often stranger than fiction. Now, with what I do for a living, when I read this synopsis, I went, God damn it, I have to purchase this. This is going to be so great. I cannot wait to see this. We got a director's commentary, behind the scenes, introduction by the actors, actor interviews, deleted scenes, outtakes, a mini documentary called Little Potato, and then some short films. And then they have the entire Capitol Hill web series, season 1 on here. This is a loaded disc. I'm so glad that they are able to get this and put this out. It seems like they are going to be doing very well with this because a lot of people are looking forward to this. And one cool thing, if you are active on Facebook, there are obviously like Vinegar Syndrome groups dedicated to the label that are collectors. And we talk about the partner labels a lot in there. There's an actor from this that has been talking about it recently and talking about his time on the film. So, yeah, just cool to be able to interact with people like that had an interest in the film that we are getting this month. Potato Dreams of America. Next up, from Saturn's Core, Red Lips. This is the front and the back, which the back is going to be a little more telling on what you're going to be getting with this release. And this one says, desperate for cash, young Caroline agrees to be injected with an experimental serum by an unscrupulous blood bank doctor. She soon finds herself transformed into a ravenous vampire, stalking the streets of New York City with an unquenchable lust for blood. After killing her doctor and a random string of unfortunate strangers, Caroline crosses paths with Lisa, played by Michelle Bauer, an innocent woman stranded in the city after a breakup with her former girlfriend. The two broke and star-crossed lovers navigate through the city's desolate clubs and hotels, fueled only by their sexual lust and symbiotic need for companionship. When Lisa finally learns of Caroline's murderous proclivities, she becomes a willing participant in her vampiric crimes until an unfortunate encounter with an indignant pimp leads to tragedy. This is a Donald Farmer film from 1995. Red Lips marked the on-screen confluence of two iconic scream queens, legendary 80s siren Michelle Bauer from Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, and the awe-inspiring 90s enigma Getty Chasin from Gorotica. With an astonishing supporting cast of cult movie luminaries, including Kitten Natividad, George Stover, Danny Fendley, Larissa McComas, Christina Cavalier, and Mandy Lee, Red Lips quickly gained a reputation as a notorious sex and gore-filled underground classic that is notable as one of the springboards for the SOV lesbian vampire movie explosion, which dominated video shelves and convention tables throughout the 1990s and beyond. First off, for those of you that didn't notice, it is Pride Month, and a lot of the partner labels leaned into that pretty hard, which I am all about. That's so great. It is going to be a really great release. This is one that Ross hinted at previously. I knew this one was coming. Oh, look, I didn't even see that he commented. This is a region-free Blu-ray. Audio commentary with the writer-director Donald Farmer. He is another one, interestingly enough, especially with how much he has done in the scene over the years. He is active in some of these groups. Like, I have a buy-sell trade group for boutiques on Facebook that I'm the admin of, and he buys and sells in there all the dang time. This says, Seeing Red, an interview with Donald Farmer, vintage interviews with actress Getty Chasin from the 1994 Chiller Theater Expo, and then Distortion is a Woman, the Blood Transgressions of Red Lips, a video essay by filmmaker, video artist Caroline Kopko. This is going to be a good one, but it is Saturn's Core, and it is shot on video. If that's not your thing, you're probably going to hate it, but this is one that I just can't wait to get my hands on. They have done almost no wrong, I think. There's a couple that have been slight misses for me, But Saturn's Core is pretty great overall. This one is Superior from Factory 25. Factory 25, they're the ones that did other music and some other things. This is from 2021. When Marion is on the run, she goes to the only place she knows is safe, her childhood home. She is greeted by her estranged sister, Vivian, a stay-at-home housewife struggling to conceive and on the verge of a failing marriage. Though the two are identical twins, they live opposite lives. Marion's mysterious return disrupts Vivian's small-town routine, and the sisters must learn to reconnect and reconcile. When Marion's haunting past finally catches up to her, their separate worlds collide, catapulting both sisters into grave danger. Really interesting cover art with what that synopsis says. I think that this is going to fit very well. Here's the backside of it, and this is not meant to be sexual in any way. Got a conch on the back there. Commentary with a handful of people on this one, and then a short film. And future of film is female post-screening Q&A moderated by Carolyn Coleman with a 28-page booklet including interviews with the director and editor and essays by the director and Lucy Fisher. I know very little about this one, but this is one that seems like a really interesting story. Let's check out some more comments again. Sardis says maybe Carlos Sorrow or maybe Buñuel. Actually, I could see Buñuel, yeah. Mitchell says, give me some Fanta Horse Spanish Nashi. That would be great, and I think Severin could actually pull off a really good Nashi box. The problem there would be wrangling all the rights to the films. Well, unless they weren't trying to like get all encompassing. If they were just trying to get like 8 films, they could probably do a really great box set. John says, I think there's a North Carolina director they're eyeing. Interesting. Maximus, kids are all in bed, time to party. I'll be asleep within 15 minutes. John says Saturn's Core kind of rules, and No Resistance is one of their better releases. I need to see No Resistance. I still don't have that in. Let's go to the next one. All right. This is where it gets incredibly exciting for me. This is just a ridiculously great looking release. This is the front, and this is the back. This is the Time-Bending Mysteries of Shahram Mokri. This is a box set from Deaf Crocodile covering from 2009 to 2020. And let's see. This is what is time? What is memory? Are we in the past or present, or some strange, unknowable hybrid of the two, haunted by arsonists, bloodsuckers, serial killers, and phantom images of our own selves? The films of Iranian director Shahram Mokri straddle the line between genre and art house cinema, whether Mobius Strip-like meditations on classic 70s American slasher films, political thrillers, 1980s new wave sci-fi vampire movies, or offbeat Jarmusch meets Tarantino indie mysteries. It's small wonder that Abbas Kiarostami in his last film, 24 Frames, left a cryptic message on screen in Persian that simply read, Shahram Mokri. I mean, that is a captivating set of copy for this box set, first of all. So we are getting Fish and Cat, Careless Crime, Invasion, Ashkan, The Holy Ring, and Other Stories. These are all from Shahram Mokri. This is a 4-disc set, nearly 4 hours of Q&A, interviews with the director, and then Behind the Mind of Shahram Mokri, which is 22 minutes long. This looks incredible. Like one of my most anticipated releases, genuinely. I can't wait to have this in my hand. I am dying, absolutely dying to see Fish and Cat. I've heard that it's great. And then some of the other things in here, I just can't. It's so interesting to get something like this that we can like fully deep dive into a full, not only just a full other culture, but a full mind from another culture that is all one director, and really see stuff from their eyes and their point of view, And then on top of that, they're all different genres, and you really don't get stuff like this very often. This was an astonishingly exciting box set for me. I can't wait to see this. I will mention, if you have not bought this yet and you're a subscriber, keep in mind this does have a different coupon code that's not just sub 50 or whatever yours is. This is one that if you're going to get it at half off, it has a very special one because this is a box set, and the actual full MSRP for this is $75. So it's worth it. Just on this one alone, you're going to save $12 plus dollars. All right. Another exciting release, and yet another one that, since I just spoke about it, I'll mention it again. This is another one that you need a special discount code for. Jeff asks, what is the price on that set before sub discount and all that? Right now, you can get it for $50 for the Shahram Mokri. And then this is the TerrorVision release. This is Video Violence 1 and 2. This one is $47.49 currently, and the full MSRP is $70. So if you're a sub, you're going to get this for $35. Let's see. Trash World says, during the Andrew interview, he mentioned a potential Intervision box set. Any ideas what that could be? I would love a Polonio set. That's tough. And the only reason I say it's tough is because they have so many very specific relationships with different directors that there's like 10 or 12 different things it very well could be. And the way that he spoke about it, I think it's going to be new things and not just a box set of things that they've released. So curious about that one. I'm hoping that we find out something about that soon. Spaghetti picked up the Shahram Mokri. You're good. No need to sorry for the typos, man. And I was able to decipher. Terry says, watching some of the individual trailers of those movies in the box set seem like they would be genre pictures with art house trappings. Definitely. And for diving into another culture, I think that's kind of perfect. It really can hide some of the easier storylines around essentially like a prettier package. And yeah, can't wait to dive into that one. But this one, TerrorVision, a husband and wife open a video store in a new town and come to find out that the locals only rent horror films and the occasional XXXer and make their own snuff videos. You'll see here, this is one of the they're kind of relying on these a lot. The little cutout box here on the slipcase. Here is the side, and then this is going to get a slipcover on the inside as well. Video Violence and Video Violence Part 2. When renting is not enough, and the exploitation. This is from 1987 and 1988. 2-disc Region A locked set. New interview with Paige Price. Archival interview with Gary Cohen. New interviews with Mark Dolson and Mark Kwiatek. New interview with Robert D'Amico, and SOVs That Wouldn't Die documentary. That is probably one of the more interesting things on this set for me. And then some radio promos, and that's about it. Yeah, this is a good looking set. If you've never seen these before, they are not like the same level as everything else. They're not terrible or anything, but yeah, the Video Violence collection has seen a lot of releases, some bootlegs, lots of DVDs. A lot of people have seen these, and you probably know what you're getting into just by looking at this. They're not amazing, but I still strongly suggest picking this up. This is probably going to be a really incredible release. And TerrorVision has done incredible work so far. And I think really we have to thank for that Brad Henderson joining them, employee at Vinegar Syndrome. Did we already go through all the releases? Awesome. Okay, so they released some new posters for some of their partner labels. This is Prospect, and it also got this metallic variant version. And then from Saturn's Core, we were just talking about them. We got their dual slipcover release of Red Spirit Lake and We Await. I really loved the art on these, so I'm really glad they released these. Looks fantastic. And then Culture Shock. You can pick up their Cannibal Hookers vinyl that they had on their website previously. Cafe Flesh from Fun City Editions on cassette is available on their site. And then Decanalog released Take Me Somewhere Nice on vinyl and VHS. I was kind of surprised by that. I did not think that it was going to be that popular of a film. But hey, if they're able to sell them, they're able to sell them. And then Fun City, they put out a t-shirt finally. Actually, I think that's their second t-shirt. But yeah, it's a decent looking shirt. Nice pink. I'm totally fine with that. I like the Vinegar Syndrome pink shirts. This looks good. And then a lot of people are probably going to scoff at this, but we really, really needed, especially after all of the partner labels, something to catch some of them up to the original. I think we had 5 previously or 3. So we got the shelf dividers that they call them. They do have the deluxe version and the standard versions for a lot of the partner labels. Still not quite all of them, but a lot of people are scoffing at the price on these. I don't see it. I think it's still a decent price considering they are making these very nice. Probably a little high, but they do look really good in your collection. I must admit. I've got the Vinegar Syndrome ones, and they look great. OCN Distribution also got into some of the orders this month. This is a t-shirt, and then they got a tote bag as well. I forgot. I had to add the censored one in at the very end. So the Pulse, the Pulse video release from Jess Franco. This is, I believe, Pulse's 4th release that came as part of a partner label with Vinegar Syndrome. This is the first collaboration between Jess Franco and Bridget LaHaye, or LaHaye. I've never heard her name spoken out loud properly. Lorna and Tom are a couple of low-life hustlers who make a living in the skin trade. Setting their sights on the naive Jenny, they coax the beautiful virgin home from a nightclub for an evening of debauchery, only to drug and sell her into a white slave network. However, they quickly discover that her father is a millionaire, and hoping for an even bigger payday, decide to demand a hefty ransom. But now they're left with the problem, as they must kidnap Jenny back from the pimps who now own her. From the perverse mind of Jess Franco comes Je Brûle de Partout, a brutal tale of sexual torment and revenge set against the picturesque backdrops of Lisbon. This is sold out, unfortunately. They put out 1,000 copies of this, and it sold out, like I said, less than about 2 hours. It was right about 2 full hours. And this one, you can still order from Pulse directly. And actually, if you order from Pulse directly, it will have another, I believe it's another full film on their release that they couldn't put out in the US. So it might be better anyways. But yes, this went very quickly. This is the front of the slip that's coming, and then this is the back. The only thing that I really love about the slipcover is that it matches the 2 Pulse releases from February of this year. Trash says David Gregory pronounces it LaHaye. That's good to know. Very good to know. Because he is probably right. All right. Kino back at it over this weekend. Before I go on, any other partner label questions? Anything else? 13 releases, all kinds of new merch, and then we're getting the Vinegar Syndrome merch putting back up tomorrow in case you have that code. There's so many great titles that have come out. It is so hard to stay on top of them. But again, the big thing, it's just varied, really good, all across the board cinema. There's something here for everybody. Next one, Film Noir, The Dark Side of Cinema 11. How are there 11 of these already? This is coming soon. We don't have a release date on this. I do think this is supposed to come either at the very end of this year or at the very beginning of next year, just the way they've scheduled everything out. These are all brand new 2K masters, and we get A Woman's Vengeance from 1948. That one has Jessica Tandy in it. And then I Was a Shoplifter from 1950. That one has Tony Curtis and Rock Hudson. And Behind the High Wall from 1956. That one doesn't have any real big names in it. I mean, it's directed by Abner Biberman, who did The Night Runner. Nothing crazy. That's just pretty standard Kino. The next Severin mid-year sale title that is coming tonight in just an hour and a half. This is Libido from 1965. The screenwriter of classics that include So Sweet, So Perverse, The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, All the Colors of the Dark, and Torso, Ernesto Gastaldi made his directorial debut with one of the most groundbreaking yet criminally underseen jolly of them all. When a small boy witnesses his father kill a woman during an S&M session, he'll grow into a disturbed young man, tormented by the images of violence, perversion, madness, and murder. Dominique Boschiero, Luciano Pigozzi, and Gastaldi's beloved wife music, co-writer Mara Merrill, co-star in this Freudian gothic freakout, now featuring a 2K scan from the dupe negative and an all-new interview with the writer-director. And I believe, if I remember what they announced for it, we're going to take a look at the Severin Policies page after this. But I believe Gastaldi is actually autographing some things as well. Let me take a look at some of these comments. It's been a few minutes. Sardis says, Iran has some great directors. Completely agree there. They have some really good films that came out of there. Eric saw many great Iranian films at the Film Center in the 90s during their annual series. Man, you had a really great decade in the 90s, Eric. All the stories that you share are so great. Trash World says, I would love a Cafe Flesh Blue, and I agree, I would as well. I believe Fun City has alluded to the fact that they cannot put it out. So, yeah. Ragnar's here. What's going on? Only 1,000 slips. Why do they make your stuff so limited? Is that what you're trying to say there? I believe on this one, again, it's because they only had the rights to release 1,000 in the US. It's a Franco title. Otherwise, they would have sold a ton of them. Mitchell says, I'm still waiting for them to announce a release date for the Mr. Wong collection they announced months ago. That should be coming here soon. Sardis says, I'm going to watch the rest of this in my living room where the air conditioner is working. Won't be able to see chat, though. Hope everyone's able to get what they want in the sale. I'll wait for the box set sale tomorrow night. Ryan's here, too. What's going on, Ryan? Libido is a must-buy, day one, incredible release. Truly, we've pined after this for ages. Yes. Mitchell says, do what I do. Use your phone for chat. Pretty smart. After Libido... Wait, is there another cover? Oh, that was weird. After Libido, we got some other information. We are getting Macumba Sexual and Mansion of the Living Dead. They are both making their worldwide Blu-ray debuts on June 10th tonight. These are both, let me see, I believe, let's see. Macumba Sexual, yeah, they are both Jess Franco titles. And these were both released on DVD previously. So we are getting DVD to Blu-ray upgrades on these. And they are going to have, hopefully, a brand new restoration. Because their DVD releases were a while ago. But yeah, these are part of the Severin sale. We're going to go over these in full in just a little bit. So I'm going to pass to the next one. Which is Kino Lorber putting out Escape from Alcatraz in 4K. Starring... according to my Discord, my favorite actor, Clint Eastwood, Fred Ward, and a handful of others. This is a film that I believe I saw one time, a very long time ago, right after visiting Alcatraz, and I remember very little about it. Very, very little. I've liked most of Kino Lorber's 4K so far. I don't know that I'm going to get this one. Clint Eastwood. Man, Clint Eastwood. I I will hold my tongue there for fear of pissing off my Discord any more than I already have. Yeah. Don't need to talk about that one more. I put out a video on the con if you want to watch that. But this is the first thing. This is the first big sale thing to talk about. MVD is hosting one of their sales. This time it is for Synapse, and they are calling it the 2022 Synapse Summer Sale. It is now happening. Save as much as 60% off on much of the Synapse and Impulse catalogs now until June 12th at MVD. This is ending this weekend. So if you are wanting this, this is still live. You are able to get in on this. If something at Severin is too much, or they don't got something you want, you might want to check out the Synapse sale. MVD, they picked maybe a busy week to do this, but I think that there's probably still some stuff that you'd like. I also previously put out a recommendation video for Synapse titles, so if you are into that, you can check that out on the channel. Let's see. Trash World says, so no Dollars Trilogy for me. I put up with the Dollars Trilogy. They're still not my favorite. I like other spaghetti westerns much more than the Dollars Trilogy. Jeff says he'll get it. He can't stop himself. That's not entirely true at all, I think. Ragnar says these are reissues. Put those out on DVD years ago. Yes, that is exactly what I just said. Yes, I do have them, Jeff, and that's because I enjoy them. Those are some of the very few things with Eastwood that I'll enjoy. Roland, what's going on? Loving your profile picture there. Let's see. Mitchell got Frankenhooker and the Coffin Joe films from the sale and a few others. Do I have that Coffin Joe release? I think that's still on my wish list. That's a good idea, Mitchell. Thank you. Sarda said earlier, Birdman of Alcatraz is my favorite Alcatraz film. I don't think I've seen that one. I need to look that up. Yeah, I've been to Alcatraz a couple times. After growing up in California, we went to San Francisco a few times. Okay, here's another one. Yes, Roland, Standard of the Kindred is coming soon. I'm betting that's going to be an October or November release. It's not officially announced yet. They did just say soon. So I'll get that up as soon as it gets announced. Retro Media and Makeflix are releasing Jacko from 1995. This is coming from the 4K scan from the original 16mm negatives. This has all kinds of stuff on it, plus it's signed by Linnea Quigley. However, this is going to be crazy. This limited slip already sold out. A Makeflix title sold 1,000 copies in literally like 3.5 days. So quick. They are going to have standard releases available. It's not going to have the Linnea Quigley signed slipcovers. And this was a little on the expensive side for Makeflix. This was like $30 on their site. And when it goes back up for the standard, it'll probably only be like 22 for a while. And then eventually they'll probably drop it down to like 19. But Jacko, the main reason that I suggest you get this if you have not is the DVD commentary on this is a classic. And I say that knowing how great it is. I shared the link for some of the highlights with my Discord. If you have never heard the original commentary, oh man, it goes there. You've got two people that were under each other's skin so much that they made offhanded comments, and it turned into a massive fight. And one of them even walked out of the room during the commentary. It is such a great listen. Highly suggest Jacko. And especially this release, we're finally going to get it on Blu-ray. It is not a great looking movie. It is very like surreal looking. It's kind of got like an SOV sort of look to it, but it also was shot on 16, so that could be why. Special features on this. We got the original DVD commentary, like I said, 15-minute restoration commentary with Fred Olen Ray, And then the original trailer 2022 Jacko Memories video, behind the scenes video, Gator Babes featurette, Gator Babes trailer, and then the Coven original footage. It looks like a pretty decent release from them. Ragnar says these companies should spread their sales out a little further. They're competing for our wallets too close together. Completely agree. I've spoke to somebody that owns a literally just a retailer, sort of like a Diabolic DVD, but much smaller. And he had put out a sale, and I even talked about it on here, and it wasn't going well. And he asked, why am I not getting many sales? And I explained to him, the weekend that you had your sale, there were 4 other boutique sales going on. And a lot of those people are going to care about those other boutiques a little more than your little store. So if you want to break through, you got to just do it right at that right timing. Completely agree, Ragnar. Oh, Makeflix also announced the complete Meat Hook Massacre Collection limited edition 8-disc collector's box set for the first time on Blu-ray. Okay, so this is coming this is coming from David Sterling. For any of you that are not used to David Sterling and Sterling Entertainment, these are probably very bad. Very, very, very bad. I've never seen any of them. First off, there are 8 films, and the first one happened and came out in 2015. And somehow there are 8 films since 2015. If you watch the trailer on this, you get a very great sense of what they are releasing. This is like, if you don't like the Wave items from Saturn's Core Audio and Video, so this is like Killing Spree, pretty standard shot on video, the Wave releases from Saturn's Core, and a level below that is what this looks like. I do not suggest you guys purchase Meat Hook Massacre, but I did want to share it in case that is the exact type of trash horror cinema that you love. I mean, the box is pretty. I will give them that. They are good at marketing. But oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be bad. And if you want to see something funny, like, watch the trailer for this. The only thing worse than the trailer for this that I've seen in a long time is the trailer that VCI cut for Night of the Scarecrow 2, or Dark Night of the Scarecrow 2, whatever it's called. And not only did that look like it was shot on an iPhone, and not even like a good iPhone, like an iPhone 4S in 2021, but they start the trailer with a guy wearing a VCI Entertainment hat. I mean, just shameless. Absolutely shameless. And again, somebody has to draw the line on these. One of the most intriguing films coming as part of the Severance sale tonight is The Shadowed Mind from 1988. The copy on this one I think is pretty important. So let's go through this. Who is ready for The Shadowed Mind? This is the worldwide Blu-ray debut of one of the most provocative banned films of all time. Now, there is a trailer for this on the Severin YouTube channel. Highly suggest watching that trailer. In 1988, South African filmmaker Cedric Sundstrom, whose underground short Suffer Little Children had provoked global outrage and accolades, took a group of skilled actors to a disused railway warehouse in Pretoria to shoot the story of an unorthodox asylum for the sexually insane. With a semi-improvised script, a rogue meets Argento-style palette and startling burst of graphic violence and nudity, it was immediately banned by the government. It has remained virtually unseen anywhere in the world until now. Rufus Swart, Adrienne Pierce, and Simon Sabala star in the psychosexual shocker from the producer of Stone, now scanned uncut in 2K from the director's own 35mm print, the only film element in existence, and featuring a career-spanning interview with Sundstrom. Now, this is one that I eventually will absolutely have to pick up. I can't wait to see this. This release looks really good, and we'll dive into the options for this one in just a little bit. This is an interesting one. So, Blue Underground announced their next 4K title coming in 2022, still this year, from Blue Underground in 4K. Quiet Days in Cliche. I don't know how to say that properly. This is Henry Miller's Quiet Days, is coming to 4K UHD remastered Blu-ray this fall, featuring a brand new Dolby Vision HDR 4K restoration from its recently discovered uncut and uncensored negative. All prior transfers were from a vintage 35mm theatrical print. I have been singing the praises of Blue Underground's 4Ks since their very first one because they are so great. Sadly, I know nothing about this one, and I'm going to need to be watching a trailer to see if I can be persuaded to continue on that train, because this is not something that excites me, at least yet. Has anybody seen this one? Blue Underground, again, does great restoration work, but that alone is really tough to sell a movie with. I do trust their restoration work, but this isn't something that I was hoping to see restored. This isn't something I've heard of. This isn't something that even sounds super intriguing. So hopefully somebody out there has seen this and can share some opinions. Next up from Kino, coming on August 16th. We had this announced previously, but now we got the details. This is Samson and the Seven Miracles of the World from 61. We got a new audio commentary by novelist and critic Tim Lucas, which is possibly the coolest part of this. Includes both the international 98-minute cut and the 76-minute AIP US cut, and some trailers. And it's got some reversible art. There's the front cover, and there is the back. And that is that. Next one. Coming on August 30th from Kino, Matahari from 1985. This has a new audio commentary by film historians David Del Valle and Nate Bell. This is a Sylvia Crystal release, which Cult Epics just did a nice little set with her, and this will probably do fairly well. This is one that a lot of people have been talking about recently. Sardis says, I have the Clichy film on DVD. I enjoyed it. I mean, that might be enough right there, because I trust Sardis quite a bit. John says they should have done a Franco 4K. I mean, it probably would have sold out already, even though you can't buy it anywhere. Mitchell says, I saw some of the trailer. Sex sells? Yeah, that's probably exactly it. And that's exactly what the cover looked like to me, which, okay. Okay, so this one, had to share this because we finally got a release date. Heat is finally coming to 4K. This was soft announced like a year and a half ago, I want to say. And then it got delayed and delayed and delayed. But Heat from 1995 is finally coming in 4K in the US on August 9th. And if you have not seen Heat, I mean, we talk about this at least once or twice a month on the other channel on Tuesdays. We just talked about it this last Tuesday as being a really great LA film. Obviously, you can't go wrong. Michael Mann, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer. This is actually a pretty decent looking steelbook as well. This is going to be exclusive to Best Buy. Not sure how many people are steelbook lovers out there, but it will be getting a standard release as well. And not all 4Ks have been getting standard releases, so it's nice to see this is getting one, and on day one. You don't have to wait a year or anything like that. With how much this has been delayed, that would ruffle some feathers, that's for sure. Heat is... I can't wait to see this. This is going to look great restored in 4K. Okay, so over the last few months, I have been sharing some Indiegogos, some Kickstarter stuff like that for some independent films, but this one's a little more important than that. And they are running an Indiegogo campaign right now for The Inferno from 1911. The Italian masterpiece restored for the first time in 4K. The Inferno is a 1911 Italian silent film loosely adapted from Inferno, the first canticle of Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. The Inferno took over 3 years to make and was the first full-length Italian feature film. The world's oldest surviving feature-length film, restored for the first time in 4K, digitized from a 35 millimeter source. This rare version of the Inferno has a peculiarity. It is red. Red tints were used at the beginning of the 20th century as an anti-copy system. Red colors were more difficult to shoot and couldn't be printed on film. This never-seen-before version was a copy of the international English version used across the world after the release of the movie in 1911. Therefore, the period intro titles are in English. The reels have been digitized using a 4K scanner, and a huge work of stabilization and restoration now begins. Be part of cinema history and help us save silent classics. Pre-order the limited Blu-ray and become a patron. I believe they've already met their goal for this, and this is going to be a really, really important release. I'm fairly certain that this is going to get a wide release after this, but this is one that if you want to get on the ground floor, this is a good time to do it. Kino putting out an Anthony Hopkins film from 1988. This is The 10th Man. It includes 2 different aspect ratios of the film and subs. There are no special features on this. I get it, but it's also kind of sad considering how good they've been doing with those recently. I've not seen this one. I don't think. Let's see. It says screen legend Anthony Hopkins stars with Kristen Scott and Derek Jacobi in this compelling World War II drama based on the novel by Graham Greene. Jean-Louis Chevelle, played by Hopkins, a wealthy French lawyer living quietly under Nazi occupation, is seized in a random police raid and thrown into a Paris jail with 29 other innocent men. Marked for the firing squad, he convinces a poor dying prisoner to take his place by promising his entire estate to the man's penniless kin. Once freed, the guilt-ridden Chevelle returns to his former home and tries to help the family of the man who died in his stead. As he falls in love with the dead man's sister, Therese, a stranger calling himself Chevelle, arrives on their doorstep. Co-starring all those people I talked about, The 10th Man is a stylish, powerfully acted thriller from one of the 20th century's most acclaimed authors. And, I mean, at least sounds like an intriguing storyline. Yeah, this is one. Anthony Hopkins is incredible. So, yeah, I'll check this one out. This brings us to today. We've gotten all kinds of stuff today, so it's not like we are about to be done already. But this is coming from Eureka on August 22nd. We are getting Angela Mao, Hapkida, and Lady Whirlwind from 1972, both of them. There is 2 films in this. It is a 2-disc pack, all kinds of special features, and one of the cool things, I can't remember. Let me take a look before I post it, or before I talk about it. This was announced just after Eureka announced. This was announced as coming in the U.S. by Arrow. So just like they just did on the Running Out of Time release, Arrow is going to be taking the exact same release from Eureka and putting it out in the U.S. It is a partnership thing that they're doing, and Eureka just doesn't have the U.S. rights, and Arrow does. So if you are looking forward to this and don't want to get a Region B locked version, Arrow will be selling theirs in the U.S., and it will probably be announced for the month of September, because the last announcements were for the month of August. So this is coming from Eureka here at the end of August, and they are also releasing Man Without a Star, starring Kirk Douglas. This is a part of the Masters of Cinema series. This one is August 15th, and one of their classic releases. They got all kinds of special features on here. Brand new audio commentary with Barry Forshaw and Kim Newman. Always got to love Kim Newman. Kim is great. Plus a collector's booklet featuring a new essay on the film by Rich Johnson and a new piece by critic Richard Combs about the Western films of King Vidor. All kinds of good stuff from Eureka over the years, and they are not slowing down, because in August they are also releasing Buster Keaton in The Saphead. This is a very important film. This is from 1920. Keaton stars as Bertie Van Alstyne, the pampered son of a powerful Wall Street financier. Having known no other lifestyle but privilege, he wanders through a variety of misadventures, an attempt at courtship, a trip to an illegal gambling den, and a tumble onto the floor of the stock exchange, oblivious to the obstacles that stand before him. Now, with this release, when it comes to Keaton, which Eureka has put a lot of their stuff out over the years, excuse me, this release is more important because this is, I believe, the very moment at which he emerged as a star of his own shorts. Keaton was recruited to appear in his first feature film. This is his very first feature film. And based on that, this is probably going to sell very well. All of their Keaton releases have done very well for them. And this is only going to have 2,000 copies. There will be a standard after that, I'm sure. But if you are really keen on the limited, or you have all the Buster limiteds and you want this one, I would probably jump on this one sooner than later. Sardis is asking, where are they selling the Inferno? Let me see if I can put the link in the chat here. The Inferno is just as part of the Indiegogo at the moment there, Sardis. And I believe that link should be coming through there. And oh, I just remembered you're watching on your TV, and you've probably got your phone for the chat. Not sure if that will work, but if it does or doesn't, I can email you afterwards as well, Sardis. Yeah, it's only on Indiegogo right now, and that should be delivering. Let's see. I'm not even sure if they have a date on that yet, because they're just going into that. They've already reached their goal. Their goal was $3,186, and they've already raised over $5,500. And let's see. Estimated shipping is April of 2023. April of 2023 on the Inferno. But hey, I mean, that restoration is going to take some time. I mean, look how old that film is. They've already got it scanned in, and now they got to do a lot of the other work with it. This was not announced per se, but 88 Films posted a trailer on their YouTube, and it shows that they are releasing Police Story 3 Super Cop in 4K in the US. So this is getting released by Eureka in the UK, but 88 Films is putting it out in the US in 4K. Not sure of a release date, but their YouTube does show that it is coming. Sardis is asking, can you order the Inferno now? Yes, you can back the project, and that will guarantee you a copy of the Blu-ray. Yes. Mitchell, Eureka is having all three of them come in 4K. That was just announced just a couple weeks ago at this point, it feels like. Like right before I left for California. These are some interesting ones. Again, like I said, a lot of announcements today. Media Blasters has announced that they are putting out 964 Pinocchio, or Pinocchio 964. This is from 1991 and is not great. But I'm curious to see if they can really restore this one to some good high def. If you've seen this before, it is it's not quite as bad as not quite as bad as something like an August Underground or anything like that, but this one is rough. Pinocchio 964, lobotomized cyborg sex slave, is thrown out onto the street by his owners because of his inability to maintain an erection. He is befriended by a criminally insane, memory-wiped homeless girl. Meanwhile, the corporate entity who manufactured and sold him plots to kill him because of his malfunction. If that compels you to buy it, by all means, go for it. Certainly, I don't need this one. This is coming in August. Media Blasters, they do some good work, and they put out some obscure stuff. Just like they're putting out Psycho Gothic Lolita from 2010. This is going to have a dual cover, it looks like. They've got two different pieces of art here. And this says, after her mother is murdered, a girl dresses to kill as a Gothic Lolita. Using a deadly umbrella, she seeks revenge by slicing and dicing the wacky assassins responsible. This one is also coming in August from Media Blasters. And I don't think that they are done announcing things. I think that they are just putting things out like one at a time. So we're probably going to hear some more from them in the next couple days. I believe the next few are from Kino here. We've got on August 30th, Kino is putting out Summer Heat from 87. This stars Anthony Edwards and Laurie Singer, but also Kathy Bates and Clu Gallagher. This is a rated R film from 1987. Anything can happen in the heat of the moment, even murder. This is a steamy romantic drama, supposedly. Jeff, I'm sure I don't need that one because I've seen it before and I don't want that one. Are you trying to be like the devil on my shoulder during this? Come on, Jeff. Next up, this is one that I am intrigued by, although it is Code Red. Coming on August 23rd from Code Red via Kino Lorber, this is Mercenary Fighters from 1988. And, I mean, tell me this doesn't sound super interesting. Screen icon Peter Fonda stars with Reb Brown, Ron O'Neal, and James Mitchum as international soldiers of fortune hired to crush a rebellion in a remote African nation. The ice-cold mercs lay waste to the countryside and the ineffective insurgents in a series of blistering attacks. Then TJ falls for a beautiful English nurse who opens his eyes to the political forces behind the bloody, unjust war. Before he knows it, he finds himself recruited by the other side to lead their ragtag rebel army. From legendary 80s action factory Cannon, Mercenary Fighters, also known as Freedom Fighters, is an explosive, no-holds-barred blast. It's Code Red, so we'll see. I don't want to just shut it down because it's Code Red, but that's kind of what Code Red has led to at this point. But I'm glad that they partnered with Kino. We'll see. Hey, Marvin, what's going on, man? Glad you're in here. Mystic and Severe Radio says I need this one. Yeah, I may as well. And then from Kino, our last announcement of the week. When Tomorrow Comes, this is from 1939. This is with Irene Dunn and Charles Boyer. Again, the classics are a bit of a blind spot for me, so I've certainly never seen this. But Kino getting a lot of these classics. Hilton says, can't wait to watch my new copy of the Ninth Coin Figuration. Yeah. Scream Factory doing their best to show that they don't have great quality control. Right? Oh, wait. Man, for some reason, that is not the last. I loaded the page earlier and didn't refresh. There's still some others. Let's go through this. 101 Films is putting out 2 more AGFA partners releases in July. They are getting The Curious Dr. Hump, which I had a Discord member ask about today, and then Treasure of the Ninja. These are both going to be the exact same US releases, so if you're in the US, you don't need these. You can still get these from AGFA and from the Vinegar Syndrome site. But yeah, these are both going to be in the UK. Good looking releases. I like how they all match. I like when you get them all together. It's probably going to look really great if you're out there. Yeah, good stuff. Love AGFA. Some release details here from Kino Lorber. We are getting Paths of Glory from Kubrick in 4K. This is from 1957. We already had this announced, so we just needed more details on this. It's going to have a brand new Dolby Vision HDR master, which they have not done that for all of them, so I'm glad they're doing that for this. New audio commentary by Tim Lucas, and then that's it. It's not getting a lot, but it is a 4K release of a Kubrick, so it'll probably sell like gangbusters for them. That's just the path that we're on. Notice the pun. This is the slipcover, and then on the inside, we're going to have that same cover. And then the double side is going to be this, which I actually kind of really like that they did this. I wish this would have been the 4K slip. Good looking release. MVD. We have not heard from MVD in a while, other than talking about their Jack Frost 2 mishap. Coming on September 27th as part of the Marquee Collection, not the MVD Rewind Collection, Marquee Collection, we are getting Canadian Bacon starring John Candy. I love John Candy. I can't believe that he, well, I can obviously believe that he left us so soon, but I really wish we were able to get more from him. The big thing is this was directed by Michael Moore. Canadian Bacon, directed by Michael Moore in 1995. That Michael Moore. Yeah, this is not going to have any real special features at all. We got a trailer, but it is a good release for a John Candy film, and I kind of can't complain about that. And it's a decent cast too. John Candy, Ray Perlman, Alan Alda, Rip Torn, Kevin Pollak, Stephen Wright. Yeah, good stuff. MVD Rewind coming back with the re-releases and getting people excited. Disturbing Behavior, which has been going for literally $100+ from Scream Factory on eBay because it was out of print for so long. They are just taking money away from those resellers now. This is from 1998 and coming on October 11th. Disturbing Behavior with James Marsden, Katie Holmes, and just like all the other Rewind titles, this will have the poster, which the left cover here, the main cover that people are used to, that is going to be on the poster. And special features on this one, we do have the audio commentary by director David Nutter, deleted scenes, and the alternative ending with optional commentary, and that's it. So not a ton, but the big thing is you'll finally be able to get this film for less than $20 rather than for $100. For those that did not buy it before it went out of print, it is going to be back out there. This is not going to be a new restoration. This is going to look exactly the same as the Scream Factory disc. So if you have that one, you do not need to upgrade to this. This is, I'm glad for the people who get a chance to see it again. So yeah, I'm glad it's coming out. And MVD Rewind was not done. They also announced The Chocolate War, a film by Keith Gordon with John Glover, Wally Ward, Doug Hutchinson, and a special appearance by Bud Cort. This is from 1988, based on Robert Cormier's controversial novel, once the most widely banned book in America. This starkly beautiful allegory of abusive power is set in a Catholic boys' school where a chocolate sale becomes a war over conformity. Jerry is a student who refuses to take part, undercutting ambitious school administrator Brother Leon. Leon secretly enlists Archie, the sadistic mastermind of the school's resident gang, to force Jerry into line. But motives and results are far more complex than they first seem in this fascinating film done with style, care, and excellence. This is, I believe, the first time this has been out on Blu-ray. And optional English subtitles, feature commentary by the director, interview with the director, and that is it. Fairly standard for MVD Rewind there. What's going on, Skolder? Why is Summer Rental not on Blu-ray? That is a great question. All right. That was a lot. Just me by myself. That was almost an hour and 45 minutes tonight. And usually when it goes that long, it's because I have somebody else with me or because it's partner release month, which it was. So thanks for hanging around for all those. Let's go into what is coming out next week. Next week, we definitely got some stuff. We've got the most important movie of the year, Morbius, coming out. I can't even make a good joke about it. It is not Morbin time in this house. The Raiders of the Lost Ark 4K Steelbook is coming out. Eurotrip is getting a second chance of getting this release right. We'll see if they are able to get the unrated cut finally. Have a good night, Jeff. Sleep well, my friend. Ambulance coming out in 4K, the Michael Bay film. A lot of people excited about that one. The Fu Manchu films from Kino Lorber that were announced, those will be here. The Little Rascals Volume 6 from Classic Flicks. Herzog, the Collection Volume 2 from Shout Select. John Wayne, yet another dad actor that I can't stand. The Horse Soldiers coming out, I believe, from Kino. The Clock with Judy Garland coming from Warner Archive. We are finally getting the U.S. release of Benedetta, even though it's not in 4K like it was in other territories. Really interesting there. Vive l'Amour from 1994. This is coming out, I believe, from Grasshopper Films, I want to say. Last of the Dogmen, also coming from Kino. Love Slays of the Amazons. This is coming from Kino as well. Charmed, the complete series on Blu-ray. Farewell Amor coming from Criterion. And I don't think... we're getting the standard release of Hotel Fear finally. Mill Creek is putting out the Assault on Precinct 13 remake, which I don't have. And I know it's not great, but I may need to pick that up just because I love Ethan Hawke so much. Damn it. Let's see. I think that was all of the big ones. Mondo Macabro. If you had not gotten the Ravager and the Bushwhacker double feature, the limited one ever, that is coming on their standard release finally. That was originally released like 3.5 years ago. So it has been quite some time. They had something going on with the rights, and then they had to put that out. So, we're finally getting it. That's a big one. And that's it. I don't even want to talk about the Meat Hook Massacres anymore. Let's see. Read some of these comments. Yes, Morbin time. I said it, nerd. Mitchell ordered those Fu Manchu films. Thankfully, nothing big since Severance tonight, Partner Labor Month. Why do I keep saying Partner Labor? I don't know why. Partner Label Month and other sales. That Synapse sale is good. And then Blue Underground coming to Grindhouse Video in just a few days. And that one, I believe, is lasting all week. And Roland wanted to remind everybody, don't forget, Criterion sale just around the corner. Most likely at Barnes & Noble for the entire month of July. 50% off, and there's some good titles coming out in July as well, so that will just make it that much worse. Mitchell remembers The Clock being a good film. Watched it on TCM. Nice. Let's go into, since we were going to break it down, the Severance sale. I've got their policies page pulled up here. So this is for the sale for this weekend. It starts tonight at midnight Eastern. Which is right now sitting at 48 minutes from now, going through 3 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday morning, so Monday at midnight Pacific, basically. They are saying, please note, we do not abide by our usual 3 to 5 business day shipping time frame, of course. It could take upwards of 6 weeks to get all orders shipped. They're going to try to be as smooth as possible, but you know how that goes. All right, this is where... Let me make this a little bigger for everybody. This is where all of the important information comes in. Okay, 8 brand new releases, 7 Blu-rays and 1 4K, that's faceless, 3 limited mid-year sale bundles, 50% off of the standard retail pricing for most of the Severin and Intervision titles. They're having a 24-hour box set flash sale. I believe that starts tomorrow night at midnight. We're going to go into that below. And then brand new merchandise and a limited edition book. There is no coupon code. You just got to check out. Everything will be marked down. Severin Films and Intervision are offering 50% off of the majority of their catalog. The following, though, will be excluded from this 50% off because they are released so recently. That says releases from the past 6 months, like the mid-year sale releases, Don't Go in the House, Delirium, Stone, Caligula, The Untold Story, and Caligula and Messalina. Out of the Blue, Hey Stop Stabbing Me, The Big Sleazy, Jack Weiss double feature, Mardi Gras Massacre, The Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee Collection 2, The Return of Captain Invincible, and all of the current pre-orders, because of course, that makes perfect sense. The bundles, they're brand new. Of course they're not on sale. Merchandise. Some items will be heavily discounted and labeled as clearance items. So if you're wanting some of those, go to the clearance quickly because those are more likely to sell out. And then limited edition convention stock. These should be in stock tonight for you to be able to purchase. Otherwise, they would not mention them. This includes limited releases such as Blood on Satan's Claw, The Beast in the Cellar, Skinner with the Slipcover, Revenge of the Living Dead Girls, Theater Bazaar Digipack, No Way Home Limited Edition, Enigma, Demonia, Shining Sex, Castle of the Creeping Flesh, Plague Town, and the Attic Expeditions. All of those are the limited edition releases that they had previously. So those are potentially going to be available tonight. They should all be. Otherwise, it'd be really weird for them to mention them. Let's see. Mystic asks, am I getting that Sailor Moon set? I am not. Unless my wife tells me she wants it. I have never watched Sailor Moon in my life. Mitchell says, I'm going to get Shaft 4K. Exactly. And Pink Flamingos. Exactly. I just watched the John Waters double feature at the New Bev last week, and I can't wait to see that Pink Flamingos release. Dead Sea Life. Honestly, I think I'm only after Lindsay Baker for $45, which is a great price, by the way. Eurocrypt Collection 1 is going to be $60, which is so cheap. Ragnar got it for $80 on Amazon last week, which is not bad for an Amazon price at all. Aberration hopes the Severna website works okay this time around. We all do. And if they are switching over, I genuinely have high hopes this time that they're going to be able to pull it off. I'm trying to be very optimistic. All right, so these ones. These are going to be 50% off for the first time in all of their sales. So all of these sale titles from last November: House on the Edge of the Park, Night of the Demon, Bloody Pit of Horror, Black Candles, Halfway House, Ballad of Blood, The Forbidden Door. Those are all on sale for the first time. Strike Commando 1 and 2, Invaders of the Lost Gold, my favorite film that Severin has ever released, Siege, Born for Hell, Skin Deep, Cannibal Man, No One Heard the Scream, Overboard, Eloy de la Iglesias Kinky Collection, Day of Judgment, The Fourth Victim, Midnight, All or Nothing from Mike Lee, Endgame, Warriors of the Year 2072, Raiders of Atlantis, Blood for Dracula. I think that's going to be a good seller for them tonight. Retribution, Black Boots Leather Whip, House of Lost Women, Beyond Darkness, The Masturbating Gunman, An Angel for Satan, the Franco Noir set, Eyes of Fire, and Woodland Dark and Days Bewitched. Which that documentary, if you don't have the box set and you just want to see that documentary, completely worth it. That documentary is so incredibly well done, and it is long. It is more than 3 hours. It's like film school in a case. It is ridiculously good. All right, everything coming tonight that is debuting for the first time. Faceless from Jess Franco, 4K and Blu-ray with a slip for $42. The Female Executioner for $28. All About Evil, 2-disc Blu-ray plus a CD soundtrack with exclusive slip, $34. That is one I have not seen, but I'm going to say right now that I would suggest that one. They allude to that one as being akin to a John Waters title on the podcast, but then on top of that, I really suggest to support the director of that film. It is Joshua Grenells. He goes by Peaches Christ. He is in the drag scene, and Peaches is great, really great. Yes, Overboard does stick out in that list, but it's going to be insanely cheap tonight, and anybody that doesn't have it absolutely should. Roland, none of us, before I say that, let me check my phone. Okay, none of us have got that email yet. So, yeah, I'm curious what's going on with that. We're down to 42 minutes. If you're going to send the email, you got to send the email. All About Evil, Libido, which again sounds perfect. That's the Gastaldi title. Blood Hunt, which looks really good. The Shadowed Mind, and these last few are $28. That is one that I'm looking at, the Shadowed Mind. And then the 2 Jess Franco upgrades. Those are $20. $20, region-free Blu-rays. Brand new merchandise. Here's a breakdown of all of the new merch that will be debuting at our mid-year sale. The Cult Films of Bridget LaHaye book, brand new limited edition hardcover pressing, first time in English from Pulse Video. They will have 1,000 copies divided up amongst 2 of our mid-year sale bundles, and we're going to talk about the bundles in a minute. These will not be sold separately. However, there will be an individual listing for a small amount of leftover books from Texas Frightmare signed by LaHaye herself. The signed copies of that book alone will be $70. Severin Films Hall of Fame enamel pin number 24, Bridget LaHaye, designed by Pixel Elixir. This is a pre-order. So when you are picking this up, if you order it with other things, it might delay your other items. So keep an eye on that. You know, Ragnar, I have been saying that since the last time the sale ended last time. For those that may just be listening, he says, I love how you just named all the limited editions that were supposed to be available only for the last sale. Now, first of all, Severin has always kept stuff for conventions. If this is truly only convention stock, I get that. But last time, they said these are only available during the sale. The sale ended, and then the items never left the website. You could get them for a while. Severin is claiming the emails were sent hours ago and that some people are creating new accounts, but no one on social media has claimed to receive the email yet. Does anybody check their spam folder? Let me see, hours ago. I have nothing new in spam either. I know I just had Andrew on here, so I don't want to badmouth him, but this seems kind of like the old somebody hacked our website excuse. Interesting. Dead Sea Life also checks spam. Nothing. Mitchell loves Overboard. I unironically do too. I think Overboard is a great fit. Yes, it sticks out like a sore thumb, but it's one of those films that I can actually show people from one of these boutiques that I like, that I know that they're going to like. Flixadon, hey there, happy to be here tonight. Me too, glad you're here. Had my wish list all set up for the sale, and now they tell me I got to create a new account. Go figure. My question, I saw somebody else ask this earlier, but I didn't see Severin respond. Are we losing all of our account history, really? Like, you're not going to be able to find out when you ordered things or check orders that are currently pending? I mean, they've got big titles that you already potentially bought. The Ray Dennis Steckler title, that's sitting out there. The Out of the Blue 4K, that's a pre-order right now. How are they going to get away with that? I don't know. Signed 8x10, Bridget LaHaye glossy photos. And now this one, Miss LaHaye was kind enough to assign 1,000 additional 8x10s photos for us to include in 2 of our mid-year sale bundles. The 1,000 photos are composed of 3 different images that will be assigned at random, not sold separately, and they are not taking special requests, so don't even ask. Eric says account history should be maintained. Should be, but we also should have got that email already, right? So here's what I was getting at earlier with Gastaldi from Libido. Libido postcards signed by co-director and co-writer Ernesto Gastaldi. There are 1,000 postcards available. 500 will be available in our largest bundle. And we're going to talk about the bundles in a moment. And the other 500 will be available in their own individual listing for $10. They are releasing a Warriors of the Year 2072 t-shirt from Pallbearer Press. And I will throw out right now, Pallbearer Press, I think, is my favorite in terms of quality of the t-shirt companies that are kind of big right now. You know, you got your Fright Rags, your Cavity Colors, your Pallbearer Press, your Rucking Fountain, Studio House Designs. A couple of them, they just use like your standard Gildan shirt, but then some of them use like a really nice soft shirt. And Pallbearer, I genuinely think it feels the best for me. They're also releasing a Don't Go in the House t-shirt, but this one was already available from Pallbearer Press, so I actually already have the shirt because I love the design so much. It is great. It's comfortable. Please buy it. Absolutely. There's an unsigned Incredibly Strange Creatures cell sheets. These are the original cell sheets, very limited quantities. They're only going to be $3. These are from the Ray Dennis Steckler set. 3 brand new stickers, 3 infamous Severin Films characters from our releases. Peaches Christ, like I just mentioned, David Hess, and the Killer from Don't Go in the House, all designed by Jared Yanez. Please note these will only be available as add-on items during checkout. So if you want these, you got to check it out. Eric says somebody else upgraded in the past year. Was it Grindhouse? Yes. And actually, Arrow did as well. And the account history was still there. Arrow had a big flub when they tried to change theirs over. So we'll see. 24-hour box set flash sale. Listen carefully. Starting at the very beginning of Saturday, June 11th, and concluding at the stroke of midnight going into Sunday, June 12th, Severin Films will be doing a special 24-hour flash sale on some of our popular box sets. We will be selling the following box sets at their lowest prices ever. All the Hauntsby Hours for $110, the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee for $60, the Dungeon of Andy Milligan for $70, the Complete Lindsay Baker for $45, and Nasty Habits, the Nunsploitation Collection for $40. My recommendation here, clearly all the Hauntsby Hours for $110 is a ridiculously great price for what is potentially like top 5 box sets of all time. If you don't have it yet, you absolutely need to look into it. The Lindsay Baker Giallo collection is really good for $45. As I mentioned in that video with Andrew today, I really think that box set specifically was the turning point from a Severin Films of yore, if you will, to this present, much more focused Severin Films. And I think that it's one that most collectors should have, especially if you are ever interested in Giallo. They are genuinely good movies, which not all Giallos are. So other people that I trust have watched some of these others. Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, I don't love. $60. It's a good price. If you really like Christopher Lee, by all means jump in. If you really want Dungeon of Andy Milligan, $70. It is probably never going to be cheaper than that unless it doesn't sell out in the next 5 years and they still have the rights, and then suddenly here's a clearance item for $40 or something like that. But yeah, I don't see this one getting lower than 70 anytime soon. And then Nasty Habits. People I trust seem to really like that box set. I've not been able to start it yet. I'm very, very behind on so many of these, and probably will be for years until my kids can watch some of these. And I don't know that I'll ever watch a Nunsploitation collection with my children. So I'm just going to slowly build up my archive, my museum, my movie room, and then someday be able to watch all of them completely. Anthony saying, Severin apparently went on to say the accounts from the previous site have been ported over to the new site. The account, after they told us we had to make new accounts, the accounts from the previous site have now been ported over to the new site? But I thought they were telling people that other people were making new accounts. Oh boy. This is not feeling great. Bundles. We will be debuting 3 unique bundles that will be available only during our mid-year sale and will feature our new releases. The biggest bundle, and this has 500 copies. 500 copies. Our biggest bundle of the sale. This one includes all 8 of the brand new mid-year sale titles. The Faceless 4K will come signed by Bridget LaHaye, as well as the Bridget LaHaye book, 1 signed Bridget LaHaye 8x10, and signed Libido postcard, and that is $286. Please note the Bridget LaHaye book will ship separately from the publisher in France. And then specifically the Bridget LaHaye bundle. This one will also only have 500 units. This bundle will have the 4K Faceless signed by Bridget LaHaye and the Female Executioner Blu-ray, as well as the Bridget LaHaye book and 1 signed 8x10 from Bridget. That one will be $135. And then finally, the Global Mogul bundle. This bundle will include all 8 of the mid-year release titles. That is $205. That does not include a signed version of Faceless. Why did they have to say it twice? This bundle does not include a signed version of our Faceless 4K UHD. It will be unsigned. Okay. I guess reading comprehension, they don't trust us very much. Oh, Dead Steve Life. Dad, can we watch The Sinful Nuns of St. Valentine again, please? Oh, God, no. Flixadon says, I had a good time with Nasty Habits. A Story of a Cloistered Nun is actually a really great film. Anthony saw a screen grab on Blu-ray for him. Don't shoot the messenger. I would never shoot you, Anthony. You're the best. Severin email this afternoon was just a list of all the sales items and bundles. I did get that earlier, but the whole announcement about the accounts that came after that email. Interesting. One thing to touch on, where are the DVDs? We are slowly phasing out of our DVD releases, beginning with our web store. After the site reopens, only our Intervision DVDs and a small handful of DVD-only Severin releases will be available from then on. Please note, if you have an open order that contains a DVD that we no longer carry, the order will still be filled. Which, good. That makes sense in 2022 to me. I don't look down on people that still watch DVDs and buy DVDs because I get it, especially for pricing. However, I feel myself turning into not necessarily a quality snob, but I appreciate HD a lot. So I try to stay to Blu-ray and 4K as absolutely much as I can. Let's see. They are shipping internationally, including the Bridget LaHaye book and some of the other things from the podcast. And thanks to John Peters for sending this. The book is going to ship internationally. Peaches Christ is signing the Blu-ray in the big bundle, and that was previously not known, and they're not advertising that on this page. All About Evil is just like a John Waters film, and Blood Hunt is the most dangerous game with cocaine. It sounds amazing. And like I said earlier, they're working on a big Spanish film documentary along with new Spanish films coming. Very, very curious indeed. Again, I will highly suggest that you take a listen to those podcasts. And then on top of that, the interview with Andrew today, really, really good information. He gave some hints to stuff that we did not know was coming. He talked about a box set that we couldn't name, but it was the Black Emanuel box set. Severin just threw up a new 5-minute trailer for the sale. Nice. From Facebook, there are people registering their accounts, so the email has definitely gone out. If you can't find it, there is still no need to panic. Interesting. Yes, Antoine, only 30 more minutes. We ported over all of the accounts from the old site. You'll just need to go in and activate your account when the site is live. What does activate the account? If you use the same email you did in the past, you'll still see all of your historical data. I would hope so. Mitchell just recently bought the DVDs for the 2 Video Nasties doc, really cheap. One thing I will say, for anybody that has bought the Video Nasties documentaries, when you get those, make sure you open them. There was an odd batch a couple years ago that when they had them made at the manufacturer, they duplicated the discs. So I think it was volume 1. The discs from volume 1 were also in volume 2, and most people bought them together. And then they get home to watch it, open them up, and they're the exact same disc. So they had to get that taken care of. So if for some reason you have not opened them and you bought them, make sure you take a look in there. Free shipping tiers are raised at every mid-year and Black Friday sale every single year. Shipping default is to pay for shipping, so you have to change it to manually select free economy shipping. For U.S. residents, you got to spend $100. Canadian residents have to do $150. Every other country is $200 and more. On the bright side, if you're buying the big bundle, you are guaranteed to be able to get free shipping. I think that was all of the important things. You can't cancel orders with the new items. If you got that gift card from the last sale still, make sure that you are using that. I fully believe that it'll work, but just in case, make sure you use it as soon as possible. Yeah, Mitchell, the people that I bought mine directly from their site, and mine was fine, and other people that bought them directly from their site, those are some of the ones that had the problems. It was just one little small batch that came in. Cam says grocery shopping with the wife and listening to the stream, and Ragnar's response is, why are you buying food? There's movies to buy. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, it's gonna be a good night. I love it. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else super important. They do have an add to my existing order function. Once that was super popular for Vinegar Syndrome, they sort of copied it. Not a bad thing. I'm super glad that they were shameful about it, or shameless about it, not shameful. It was something that they absolutely should have done. I guarantee it has made them thousands in extra sales. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up the Severin Twitter account because some of their items, like the special features on these new titles, were just posted recently, and they are not all listed on here. So let me see what I can share. Maybe I'll pull up their Facebook instead. Their Twitter has all kinds of other retweets and everything. By Fur says, I'm rocking with Ryan for the sale. I'm glad you're here. I do plan on staying on at least until it goes live. Maybe not too long after, although I'll definitely check out the clearance section and stuff with everybody. Let me pull up some of these special features listings, and then I'll start sharing the screen. Man, they have done so many posts on these. Okay. Everything's just in the last 2 days. Jeez. Let me share my screen with you guys. I'm going to zoom in for you. All right. Severin Films, we've announced all of our mid-year sale titles, but now we want to share all the special features. Faceless is a 2-disc set. Disc 1 includes the feature and trailer on a 4K. Disc 2 is a Blu-ray that includes the feature and the rest of the bonus material. So if you don't have 4K yet, that Faceless will still be able to work for you because the second disc will have the feature on the Blu-ray as well. You got an audio commentary with Jess Franco and Lena Romay. The Female Predator interview with actress Bridget LaHaye. Facial recognition interview with Kim Newman, author of Nightmare Movies. Kim Newman, always great. Parisian Encounters face-to-face with actress Carolyn Monroe. Predators of the Night interview with Stephen Thrower. This is just a really great disc with the people that they've got on here. EPK interviews with actors Helmut Berger, Chris Mitchum, and Telly Savalas. Archival interviews with Jess Franco, Chris Mitchum, and then commentary with Chris Mitchum's. Parody short starring Bridget LaHaye called Therese 2 The Mission. And for Female Executioner, they got The Cop in Nylon Stockings, interview with director Michael Caputo and Bridget LaHaye. Hold On Tight Girlie, a location visit with Michael Caputo and Bridget LaHaye. And then Le Volet Bleu, or The Blue Shutters, 1987 short film starring Bridget LaHaye. They've got all kinds of stuff on these. Really great looking release. Going up to the next post. These are special features for All About Evil. Audio commentary with Joshua Grinnell and actors Thomas Decker, Ashley Fink, Jade Ramsey, and Nikita Ramsey. Star Quality, The Making of All About Evil with writer-director Joshua Grinnell, producer Darren Stein, Thomas Decker, Ashley Fink, Cassandra Peterson, Jade Ramsey, Nikita Ramsey, Noah Sagan, and Mink Stoll. All About Evil, a roundtable discussion. The Peaches Christ Experience in 4D world premiere at the Castro Theater from May of 2010. Grindhouse 2003 short film by Joshua Grinnell. Children of the Popcorn behind the scenes with Peaches Christ. And then a 2010 making of, plus it has the soundtrack CD and a bonus booklet, The Tour de Fierce Diaries on the Road with All About Evil by Michael Verratti. The Shadowed Mind, we got an audio commentary with the director. Into the Shadowed Mind interview with director Cedric Sundstrom. We got 4 short films and then 3 little promos on here. And that is it for the Shadowed Mind. But again, still a stacked disc. Really good looking release there. Update on their Out of the Blue. There was a UHD production backlog, which is out of their hands. The discs are shipping And by the end of this week, they will start shipping alongside mid-year sale orders. Let's see. Here's the next two. Special features for Blood Hunt. We got Night of Rage interview with the director Javier Lorieta and a trailer. Not a lot on that one. And then for Libido, audio commentary with Kat Ellinger, author of Daughters of Darkness and all kinds of other things. Kat is great. And then I've Got You Under My Skin interview with writer-director Ernesto Gastaldi. Moving on, here is a picture of Ernesto Gastaldi signing the Libido postcards for the sale this week. And then for Franco, these are just porting over extras on these. We got interview with director Jess Franco, interview with Stephen Thrower, and then on on Mansion of the Living Dead, Jess Franco Heretic, interview with Stephen Thrower again. And then The Mansion That Jess Built, interview with director Jess Franco and Lena Romay. This is a picture of the Bridget LaHaye book that's coming. Great news for anyone who likes signed items. Ernesto Gastaldi isn't the only person to break out a Sharpie. While pre-orders of the Cult Films of Bridget LaHaye book will be part of 2 bundles during the mid-year sale, there will be an individual listing for a small amount of leftover books that will be signed, and they will be $70. And then this is one of the 8x10s that are possibly going to be signed. There are 3 options. Again, we can't make choices of which one to get, but you will be able to get the 8x10 just by itself. Checking out some comments. Jonathan says, some of the DVDs with 4K scans look really good. Absolutely. So if they have some newer titles super cheap on DVD, pick some up. Blu-rays will definitely look better, but $3 is pretty good if you're on a budget. And I guarantee there's probably going to be a few that are in that clearance section tonight. Blood Hunt Slip is nice. The art for that one looks really good. I agree. This is an article, and they are doing a All About Evil live. There's some other information on all of their social medias. And then I think that's all of the new stuff. Here is their post about in order to accommodate the demands of high sales traffic, we've ported our previous website over to Shopify. We've spent a horrendous amount of money on the migration to hopefully address previous issues, so we are optimistic. You'll receive an email shortly if you've created an account on our site in the past. It will contain directions on how to create a new account for the site. Your history will be saved, and you can use any outstanding gift cards and codes. Interesting. More art for the sale. The hour draws near. Do you know what you're getting? Yes, because we are all here together. All right. We've got 18 minutes left, and I have nothing else to run through. Is there anything you guys want to ask about Severin or talk about, or any other recommendations? I've had my chance to share recommendations over the last year on this channel. What about all of you guys? What are your go-to, let's say 3 Severin titles? If you were going to get somebody brand new to Severin, what are the 3 that they absolutely must have? My first pick, like I said in that video earlier, is St. Bernard, followed by Santa Sangre in 4K, and then probably, it's kind of hard after that. I'm probably going to go with Perdita Durango in 4K. Dead Sea Life says Blood for Dracula is amazing, and it looks great. The detail in that 4K is so good, and the Digipack is a nice, really nice release. What are your 3 go-to from all of you? Just start sharing. There's a lot of people on here, and a lot of different tastes. I guarantee that. And I definitely want to see some people with some off-the-wall choices. One that's a big deal, The Changeling, obviously. It's a classic. Anthony says, Blood for Dracula, Santa Sangre, Perdita Durango. Sorry, St. Bernard. That's all right. Siege is amazing. Genuinely, I think the best movie that they've actually released. Not the best release, because there's not a ton on there, but genuinely, Siege blew my mind the first time I watched it. It was so well done. Santa Sangre from Justin Robbins. Day of the Beast, Night of the Demon. Nice. Oh, Skinner. Not a lot of people mention Skinner. That's a good choice. Madman says, read the replies. I don't know what that means. Everything that's popping up, I am reading. Mitchell says, the Fennec movies plus 2 docs, All the Colors of the Dark. Yes. And The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. Neil says, Siege, Day of the Animals. That's a good choice, too. And Midnight. I've not seen Midnight yet. Siege, whoops. That was probably really loud. I apologize. Siege, I can't even speak now. Siege, the Lindsay box set, and Warriors of the Year 2072. That's from Aberration. Yeah, those are really good picks too. The Lindsay Baker box set is really well made through and through, and it has that one has 4 films in it, right? I think it's 4 films. And then Warriors of the Year 2072, that was a sale title last summer, and a lot of people were still just waiting on that for a good price. And this is going to be the first time that you can get it on sale, so highly recommend that one. The Horror of It All, Absurd, Retribution, and Born for Hell. Man, those are 3 most people don't bring up. That is a really wide pick. Good, highly recommend. Absurd for sure. Born for Hell is interesting, and Retribution I still have not given a look at, unfortunately. Eric says V. I love the ending of V. That is such a well-made film. I appreciate that one so much. I think I want to do a double feature of V and then Ilya Muromets, the one that is coming out right now from Deaf Crocodile. I don't know why. They really don't have a whole lot in common other than they're like Eastern European and from the 50s. I don't know why. It's just striking to me that I want to put those together. Madman says Halfway House, Night of the Demons, and Perdita Durango. That Night of the Demons is one that kind of came and went quickly, but yeah, that's a fun one. Lissa says Blood for Dracula is an amazing set. Bought it when it came out. Couldn't wait. Agreed. I got that day one. Jonathan got his wife into Giallo with the Lindsay set. Good pick. That is actually really cool. And then this has got to be like one of the comments of the night. I love the Milligan box, but I'd never recommend it. That stands true for a lot of these films, especially a lot of these films in this room. There's a lot that I have loved that I think most people would hate. So I'm glad you said it like that. All that to say, Severin has a wide catalog. They've been around for years and years. And I strongly suggest when you're looking at these, don't just get excited by the brand new ones. The cheapest ones are going to be the ones released in like 2016 and 2017 and back then. Give a look to some of these other ones. I mean, we've got... Where's my Severin stuff? Gwendolyn. That's a big title that they've put out that a lot of people have probably seen, but if you haven't, it's a really good one to have. I always bring up, let's see, The Boys Next Door. Penelope Spheris title. She directed the hell out of that film. It is this haunting, like, slightly less intense Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and it's got Charlie Sheen. I mean, how do you go wrong with a film like that? Zombie 3 and 4. They're not amazing films, but you gotta have them, right? And those are released years ago, so those are probably going to be like $10 or $11 tonight, maybe at most like 13, 14. They are important. Zombie 3 is pretty bad. Let's see. One that doesn't get enough love, Dr. Butcher, MD. I don't know why not enough people talk about it, but it is a really, really well-made film from when it came out, and one that I feel like people need to get new, fresh eyes on. That was a very early Seven release, and it's a classic for sure. House at the Edge of the Park. I believe it said that one's on sale tonight. That's a great one. God, there's so many. They've put out so many really great titles. Jonathan got the barf bag for Dr. Butcher MD. I do too. Do I still? I must have taken it down. It was on my old shelves. I had it somewhere up right around here, hanging, and it was nice. Quiet Rob says, I think Next of Kin is really good. Great ending to that one. I think it's really well made. I did not like the first half of it or so. The ending was really good, but Next of Kin is a classic. I believe that's an Australian or New Zealand film, and it was an important one for down there. Dude says, I'm getting really interested in the killer animal movies, picking up Wild Beast and Killer Croc, maybe Day of the Animals 2. If you are only choosing two of those, since you said maybe, I personally, I think Day of the Animals is leagues above Killer Crocodile. Although Killer Crocodile has two movies in it, I do still think Day of the Animals is much, much better. Anybody out there can argue with that by all means. But yeah, Day of the Animals is a truly good movie. Wild Beast is classic, and I wanted to point out, it was in the interview today with Andrew, but if you have not seen it, watch Red Rocket from Sean Baker, and Wild Beast, the entire poster with the Severin logo and everything is hanging on the wall of the, she's about to be 18-year-old girl in Red Rocket. It's such a weird cameo. The Horror of It All, love Zombie 3 and 4, absolutely. Dr. Butcher MD, bring on the Italian. I agree. Italian all the way. Wild Beast is a ton of fun. And at this point, it's kind of an older release, so I feel like it doesn't really get a lot of that attention. Couch says Zombie 4 is great stuff. I like Zombie 4 so much more than Zombie 3. I don't know why, because they're both kind of bad movies, but Zombie 4 feels so much better than Zombie 3. I feel like they made Zombie 3 and it was looked at as just so bad, and they went, all right, we actually got to try in Zombie 4 again. Aberration says, Shocking Dark, still one of my favorite Severin releases. Absolutely. Gotta love that slipcover. Yeah, I can't reach it. Yeah, the Terminator 2 slipcover on that is great. And John likes Day of the Animals as well. Good. Gwendolyn's. Yes, nice. Gwendolyn is great stuff. What is it? Gwendolyn and the Perils of the Land of the Yik Yak? I never remember the long title for that one. And then if you've never seen it, this is the... unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get this slipcover for this, but this is the Claudio Fragasso film that I talked about with Andrew today. This is Night Killer. Night Killer is wild. Let me see if I can get a good look at the gentleman in this film up here for you. That is not very clear, but this is a really interesting movie. It's very like a fever dream type of film. John really likes the Kinky collection, and then I believe he also really liked the one that I didn't love. That is Cannibal Man. If you're interested in that one, it wasn't my thing, but primarily that was because the ending. It was really interesting ending, but not the one that I wanted, basically. Yeah, I'll put that back later. Yes, Antoine, Burial Ground is a must. I keep forgetting to bring that up. I I mentioned in the live chat of the interview today, I always forget Burial Ground because I feel like everybody just has like I assume everybody has it in their collection already. I don't know why. It's just one of those titles that, like, I mean, you have Burial Ground, right? It's everybody should have it. But if you don't, you absolutely got to get it. Can I reach that one? Just out of my reach. Let's see. Couch says Night Killer's fun. Wish I had that slip. Yeah, I'm glad you like that one. Not a lot of people have talked about Night Killer since its release, but it is again a little bit of a fever dream. It's got some messy plot points, if you can even call them plot points. But yeah, it's pretty good. We are sitting at 6 minutes. The last thing I will throw out, documentaries. Anything from Severin that is a documentary, whether that's The Killing of America, we just talked about them, but the Video Nasties documentaries, the Beast in Heat, which I think it's the Beast in Heat. Is that the one that has the documentary on it? Yes. So this is the Beast in Heat, and it has on here, let's see, Fascism on a Thread, The Strange Story of Nazi Exploitation Cinema, new feature-length documentary. Those sort of releases from Severin that have those massive documentaries that they put all kinds of work into, like the Al Addison documentary is amazing. The Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched is incredible. All of their documentary work is like shockingly good, and genuinely, because David Gregory is behind this company and does so much for special features and has for decades at this point. They are just like a cut above everything else, and they are so great. I got a question from Twitch. If I can trust this, Danielle says, "Do I take questions? I need some advice. I fear this is about to go poorly." I'll say yes. Dude McMahon says, "Killing of America is unbelievable." The horror of it all says, "I've rarely ever heard that somebody liking Zombie 4 more than 3. Interesting." Did everyone enjoy the folk horror box? I believe so. I don't think I've heard any bad takes from the folk horror box set. Pretty much everybody's been into all of it. So much content too. I mean, every single disc had the movie and other either short films or really good special features. The only thing I will say, there is one release. Somebody in the chat remind me, because I completely, is it No Way Home? There is a film that in the folk horror box set, it is there, but the original release from Severin was actually the better release because it had some other features on it. But that's probably neither here nor there. If you're going to get it, just get the full box set. Horror of it all, I actually wasn't a giant fan of Cannibal Man when I first saw it years ago, but after I rewatched it with Severin release, I loved it now. I thought it looked great. I appreciated the way that they filmed it. I appreciated a lot of that. But yeah, I really hated the ending, and that's because I believe it's the government in Spain at the time. They made the police pretty much always have to win, or it had to be where the criminal was caught, basically. Just did not like it. That's the one, John. Dark Waters. The Dark Waters release is much better in it's much better on the standard standalone release from Severin that was released years ago. But if you're only really going to look at these for the feature film and not the features, you can go with the box set and you won't be missing too much. V is great. I was not talking about V. The only V release that is actually better is the one from Eureka. Mitchell says, "I'd get it. The doc movie is hugely comprehensive, and it mentions so many titles that they could literally do like 2 or 3 more box sets." We are like 2 minutes away from this starting here. Yeah. Let's start sharing the site. It is about that time. Pulling this up here. Sweating to the mid-year sale. Let's see. Dead Sea Life, I have too many movies to watch to spend too much time on features. Not sure if anyone has the same feature guilt as I do. I do, but primarily for commentaries. What I usually do is I'll finish the film and then go into like some of the shorter features while my wife is inevitably snoring next to me. Oh, somebody said it's up. All right, it is up. Here we go, and the site is working. Hopefully everybody can get in. Severin Films Hall of Fame enamel for Ray Dennis Steckler. So obviously there's nothing new here. They've got the pre-orders, and then we've got the sale items. But here are the bundles that they talked about, and all of the brand new releases. And the site does look different. I will say I appreciate that the search bar is at the top. When they did their second site last year, second site is another name of a label. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Their second website that they put out, their search bar was all the way at the bottom, and you had to go search for it. It was ridiculous. I didn't have to search for a search bar. So this is what we're looking at. Interesting looking site. I think this actually probably will do very well for them. What do we got at the top here? Let's go to shop, and then let's go. Do they have a clearance? Has anybody seen a clearance section yet? DVD merch, Severin. Wow, they've got very specific directors that they've worked with a lot there. Aberration says he can even put the prices in Australian dollars. That's different. Old account doesn't exist. Gotta make a new one. Well, that is not promising. Dude, none of us have gotten that email, so it's not just you. Created new account. It does have my address, but no order history. Oh, no. Here we go. Oh, boy. What if I search for clearance? Right, they do have some clearance items here. If you don't have it, the Paranoia set from the Lindsay Baker box set is a really comfortable t-shirt from, I believe that's also Paul Bearer Press. Definitely one of their better t-shirts. Let's see here. Not a ton in clearance. Of course, the Richard Stanley cassette tape is certainly on clearance. Oh, man. I hope they're able to get the old order history in there for everybody. That's tough. All right, how about some DVDs? Do we got some really cheap DVDs in here? I mean, these are still just regular sale prices. Dark Harvest Escapes, that's a good one from Intervision. I've seen Dark Harvest, really well done. Murder Lust, that's a good release. Dreamstalker is fun. I've not seen Death by Love yet. Interesting. Yeah, not many DVDs on here, just like they said. They really pulled them. Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee Set 2 is $80 right now on deep discount. Nice. The Steckler box set is there still. Of course. I still need to get Out of the Blue ordered for the 4K. If anybody is able to get in their account and is able to see their history, let me know. I'm really curious if they're going to get this worked out. Martin says, tried to log in, said incorrect email and password. Not sure if I should create a new account or wait for this to be fixed. That is a great question. But yes, it is not crashing. Every single page is loading very quickly. That's a huge win there. Darren, good morning. Thank you for the conversation with Andrew from Severn. Excellent. Nice. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that was a really fun conversation with Andrew. I'm going to open up the site in another tab and see what it tells me when I try to log in. Incorrect email or password. I may just wait. Neil says you can check out as guest, although unless you are really wanting to get one of the limited things that may potentially sell out, like one of the 500 bundles or the books, I might hold off on some of these and just wait to see if they are able to fix the account thing. Speaking of, do they have a section for the books? Let me look up book. This is a hardcover, $70, signed English translated book. I should not be showing that on YouTube. Whoops. Yeah, so that one is available. We got the book by itself there. Anthony says, oh, okay. Create a new account. You can use your old information. You'll verify it, and in it, you'll have your addresses saved. Huh. Interesting. All right. I'm going to go through the process of creating an account then. Severn Films account activation. Oh. Mine actually has order history. Anybody else seeing any order history? They have copies of Blood on Satan's Claw. Blood on Dat. There you go. Was it 34? Huh. Said forgot password and said email didn't exist. Horror of it all, tried to make a new account, then it said that I had to follow the link from the email, which I finally received. And once you do that, it worked great. And I do see my history. So yeah, I activated it through the email. And let me pull this down. You can see, just so you can see I'm not lying, order history. On the new site and everything. Interesting. I've spent too much money at Severn. All right, I'm going to look for some things that might be less intuitive just to see if they have them. I doubt they'll have the full collection, but just in case. No. Let's see. Some of the older ones. If you don't have it, fully recommend The Changeling. The 2-disc Blu-ray with slipcover, $17. Really good release. I mean, either one is great. It's a classic film, but I think you'll like it. And then let me check. They probably just plain can't sell it anymore. No, they don't have Cruel Jaws. Dave says, order is in. Blood for Dracula. The Beast Must Die. All the Colors of the Dark. Easy peasy. And everything is loading. I even have it open in 2 different tabs, and it's working. Amazing. You love to see it. Let's take a look at... Let's go Severn Kids. Why is the owl... Okay, because of Carnival Magic, I assume. Severn Kids. They've got... man, they've got to release something else for this line soon. Combat Shock. That'd be a good one to try. I got all excited, but they have a replacement slipcover, and that's it. Mitchell says, I just spent too much. This is great. Just to see everything working, that is... I appreciate Severn so much. I'm glad they're able to get it. All right. Anybody else find anything off the wall or convention stock? Actually, can you just search the word convention? Does that do it? So here's that Dark Waters film I was just talking about from the All the Haunts Be Ours set. Convention does not get me what I was looking for. Man, everything works. I am so happy that they're able to do this. Dude says, bummer that I slept on the DVDs, hoping to add the Strike Commando DVDs cheap. They went very cheap. Probably not going to see those prices anymore. That's for sure. Eric says, I have Night of the Demon and All or Nothing in my cart. I want to get the Milligan and Nasty Habit boxes, so probably wait to order until the box set sale goes live. Smart. You got 24 hours. And we'll see it then. Anybody getting the giant bundle? This $286 one? Limited to 500. Says tentative shipping date. Blank. But this bundle has all of the new things. Mitchell says, biggest bundle, Marauders equivalent, all Peter Cushings, a Jess Franco, Warriors t-shirt, Peaches Cry sticker. Man, that is a hell of an order, Mitchell. I hesitate to ask, but if you're comfortable sharing, how much was it? All Peter Cushings. What all is listed under Peter Cushing? Cushing. The Uncanny is decent, and now the Screaming starts. There's kind of a lot here. John's gonna try to get it at 3M. I think they'll still have some. I know you've got 4 hours, but I think they'll still have some. Well, Mitchell, at least you qualified for free shipping. Woo! $435, man. Which Jess Franco did you get? Oh, the Warrior shirt. That's the other one I was going to look at. Where is merch? There it is. I love that these are the first things that pop up when you go for merch. Oh, man. Let's see. I love their stickers. They're really well done. Okay, here it is. Warriors of the Year 2072 shirt. I may have to get that one. Dang it. The Demonia shirt is also really nice. And the Enigma shirt is pretty good as well. I don't have this one yet. Oh, and it's a pallbearer press. Oh, dang it. Dang it. I got to stop looking at these. What's your take on Deep Blood? Definitely a fan of 2020 Texas Gladiators, but can't say I've seen many of Joe D'Amato's other works. D'Amato is... let me take a look at this one. Deep Blood. I don't love the films like this. Cruel Jaws is probably the worst I'll go. And this is a little bit of even a step down from that. But the people that like it, It is a fairly light release. It is the feature and then a trailer, and it's a 2K scan. I think we could have got better with that. Horror Guy says, I'm so excited, happy for Severin. They seem to have finally figured it out with their website. Amen. Feels crazy getting excited about a website working. That's so true. Oh, it is so very 2022 to make that joke. Horror Guy got the bundle with all the releases. Nice. Very nice. Jonathan says, Cruel Jaws is hilarious. Yeah, I'd agree with John there. Go for other D'Amato other than Deep Blood. What else do they have from D'Amato? Is he listed on one of the... yeah, he is. So other D'Amato... What? What if I just search his name? That's so weird. They put a listing for him, but then didn't add them in there? All right. So Absurd, definitely suggest that one. Beyond the Darkness is pretty good. Emmanuel and Francois is definitely a good one. And then Anthropophagus. I mean, you pretty much have to have that if you're going to be into Severin at all. Endgame is also going to be much better than Deep Blood for sure. That was weird. How are you going to have a collection made on your website when I click it, it says 0 results? Yeah, Jonathan says the D'Amato women in prison films are nuts. Yeah, I think that's where D'Amato... I don't know if that's a good claim to fame, but that's like really where he was able to show like his actual strength was women in prison films. Ordering was so simple and fast. Very happy. I agree, Anthony. Man, I kind of want to message Andrew and say good job. Everything works. Everything is working. I really like the slip on this one. Definitely suggest checking out All About Evil. That's one I'm going to need to pick up here soon. Flex is asking, do I know if Eureka's 4K Super Cop will be the same transfer for 88 Films 4K? I don't know that, but I would be comfortable legitimately making like a 99% sure claim that they are likely the exact same scan and everything. The way they work behind the scenes, they generally go to the studio if they are not doing the scan themselves, and they go to the studio and say what was recently scanned. They're probably using a scan that was gifted to them, and they're just working together because Eureka doesn't put anything out in the US. So 88 Films is probably taking the exact Eureka package and just releasing it in the US like Arrow is doing right now. Madman says Perdita Durango art print is only $5, and it's I actually like that art print a lot. I've got it right over there on my wall, right? Well, leaning up against my wall. Maybe it's just a placeholder for the search, but the link doesn't work. I completely think that's exactly what it is. It's just odd that they did not check that. I wonder if any of the other ones work. Let me see. Like Franco should be the obvious one. Oh, look. They set up the Franco one. And the Fulci one. And Fragasso. Did we just happen to click on the only one that doesn't work? Oh, no. Bruno Mattei doesn't work either. Okay, that's a little better. Martin says, activated my new account, and only one previous order from last year is visible. None of my current pre-orders are listed. Uh-oh. Before you send the email, Martin, I would give it a day or two. I don't think there's a reason to send it yet. They could just still be going over the porting process. Eric says, I'd only ever placed 3 prior orders direct through Severin, so the missing order history isn't too devastating. Hope others can see theirs. Neil got the Killer Croc combo, The Boys Next Door. Good choice. Massacre Dinosaur Valley. Not a lot of people talk about that one. Perdita Durango. Good job. Born for Hell, Cannibal Man, and Franco Noir. Dude says Endgame was an absolute childhood dream come to life for sure. Oh man, Anthony going all out too. Went with Faceless 4K, Female Executioner, Shadow Mine, Blood Hunt, Blood for Dracula 4K, Grizzly, nice. Nosferatu in Venice, Grizzly sticker and Udo Kier pin. Also use the $20 off coupon from last sale. Very nice. Save some money too. Flex says you can't get the Eureka release of Police Story in the States. No, you can. Eureka just can't sell it. You can order it from Eureka, but they don't distribute it to the US. Technically, they're in the UK. And just because of the way regions work, it's essentially just to make it more difficult for people to get their releases. But that's kind of different nowadays. The world is a much smaller place with the internet. So 88 Films has the rights to Super Cop in the US, and Eureka does not. You can still have the Eureka release here. It's just a matter of Eureka technically can't sell it here. That's why it's only from retailers unless you buy it direct and they ship it to you. But Eureka has never sold anything in the US. They sell things to us, but they don't have like a US business license or anything like that. Couch uses gift card too. Nice, nice. All right. Last minute recommendations for anybody else looking to grab one or two more things real quick. Let me get away from Claudio Fragasso. I kind of bummed that they are doing this Brigitte Lahaye pin. This is from the Jean Roland film that she was in, and they are not releasing that film. Kind of an odd choice. Cinema Dude says, went with a Day of Judgment, Day of the Animals. I love how it's Day of Judgment, Day of the Animals, Night of the Demon. And Raiders of Atlantis, at least for now. Yeah, you got the add to sale order option. Birdemic Blu-ray is down to $5. It comes recommended by Aaron Pinn for its entertainment value. It is that is more than $4 too high. Birdemic is not a good movie. That is like a movie that you buy as a goof and regret it still at $5. Justin says, grabbed Bloody Pit, Warriors, Endgame, Raiders, Siege, Strange Vice, Bloody Moon, going back for a couple sets. Dang, that is a good, strong order as well. Darren eventually logged on the third attempt. I was miffed at the Andy Milligan box set, but I can't justify it. Maybe if it was a little lower. What is it right now? Because it's Dead Sea Life. Is Day of the Beast any good? No, Day of the Beast is great. Genuinely great. It is just barely a step below Perdita Durango for me. Really good movie. The Milligan box set, how much is it? Okay, so if you did not read, Darren, the Milligan box set will be cheaper 24 hours from now. Yes, the box set sale is tomorrow, starting Friday night going into Saturday at midnight. So you'll be able to get this for much cheaper, Darren. Do not purchase it right now. Do not. If you're going to get other stuff, get a sale order going so that you can add the Milligan set tomorrow. But yeah, definitely wait because it's going to be much cheaper. John, I'd like to think people aren't buying the Kinky collection because they already have it, maybe? Everybody's saying it's going to be $70 tomorrow. These are almost identical messages. Just different punctuation. Dead Sea Life is slightly more excited about it. All right, everybody. We have been live for the last almost 3 hours. The sale went great. Everybody's still able to get on the site. It is working. Don't forget, you have until Monday night at midnight Pacific to be able to shop. You can keep adding to your sale order. You got the box set sale tomorrow. If there's anything else that comes up, let me know. Eaten Alive. Nice. Dude says, I was tempted by Paganini Horror because I was an Yngwie Malmsteen fan. Heck yeah. But watching the trailer made me decide to wait on it. Now, sadly, I'm going to say this. Paganini Horror, the cover is the best part of that whole film. The cover is amazing. The movie is absolute garbage. John, you got one. Martin is buying the Kinky collection tonight. All right, everybody. At almost 3 hours live, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here as we watch the Severance site live and not completely collapse on us for the first time in ages. Thank you for spending time and all the announcements tonight. Thank you for being here as we struggle with, the new accounts porting over. I appreciate all the recommendations from everybody. There's a few I haven't seen. Everything has been pretty incredible tonight. Next week, we got some new exciting things coming up. And I'll drop a hint here, unless you're a patron. I think I told my patrons already. But next Thursday night for Reconnected, we have a pretty incredible guest joining us. So come back next Thursday. We'll hang out, and we'll have some good times. Thank you all for hanging. And until next time, from One Collector to always, to all of you, have a good night.